I mean, honestly, like us doing this is great for me.
Oh yeah, dude. I'm glad.
This right here is like therapy. It's like I'm talking about how I feel and getting it off my chest, and hearing your guys' feedback and saying, "Hey, don't look at it like this, or maybe try it like this." Like that helps me too. Like your guys' feedback helps me maybe see things a different way.
Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And we're here with
Brian.
Yeah.
Welcome back, Brian.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Can't really breathe right now, but I'm all right.
I know you and Tom both getting stuffy. You're stuffy too?
Dude, I woke up and can barely even breathe.
Ugh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
It's a good time.
Right.
Coffee will do something. That's my medicine. Coffee and ibuprofen.
Yeah.
I think
that's breakfast.
I think once you hit 40, that's everyone's breakfast.
I think
pretty much.
Yeah, that was my snack the other night.
Yeah.
Ibuprofen, take some before you go to sleep, and it's go through about 100 tablets every 2 weeks. Is that too much?
No, I think doctors say that's fine. After 40, it's preferred.
Right.
Like I said in the last podcast, man, I've been feeling my age, and things ain't changed. I'm still feeling that way. I feel old and achy. I don't like it at all.
No, I get you. I'm 42, and I kicked something the other day, and think I broke my toe. I didn't go in, but it's really purple and nasty looking. So,
oh, Jesus. Well, it's not as good as you for a broken toe anyway. So.
No, broken or sprained doesn't make much of a difference.
Right.
Yeah,
I put one of those.
It's jacked up either way.
I'm pretty physical at work, and I come up from work, and I'm just like, my shoulder hurts. There's always something. My back, I'm like, my back. Like I always tell people at work, I'm like, listen, you got to palletize this shit and get it off the floor if you want me to work with this, because I can't bend over all day. And I'm vocal about that shit now. I'll just tell them hey guys, I got old man back. I can't be bending over all day. So can you put this freight on some pallets so I can wrap it up? Because I'm not bending down to the floor. I can't no more.
Yeah, work smarter, not harder, right?
House, and I'm and shit. I'm definitely been feeling it.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I feel like it happened overnight.
Yeah. You're always warned about it. That it's someday you're going to regret that.
I know.
Whatever.
It is true, though, because I swear once I started hitting 40, I started getting injured, playing just sports like I normally do. And all of a sudden I'm getting hurt. I'm like, what the fuck? This is bullcrap.
Yeah, I'll be twisted the wrong way. The next thing you know, your next month is you're like, oh, fuck, I shouldn't have done that.
Yeah. I think I woke up and my back was sore for, I don't even know why, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just had a sore back for a couple days. I was just like, Jesus, this is annoying.
Yeah. I used to throw my back out a lot.
I've had lower back pain for a couple of weeks now. And I'm just just go away.
Yeah.
And I wake up some mornings and I feel really good, and I go to work and I'm all right. And I have some days that are around 5, and I have some days where I'm just like, oh my God, just too much pain.
Yeah.
I don't know. Part of age, I guess.
You've been getting out and hitting trails or anything?
With the weather we've had lately, I haven't done much hiking. I've been out for some short little trips here and there. I went and did a little, I wouldn't say a trail run, but a trail jog with a friend. We did, 5 or 6 miles, and the weather, we more ran because the weather was so shit and some heavy rain was coming.
Oh, yeah, right.
We're so stubborn, we're going to do it anyway. So we drive out to the trail. It's all right, let's do this. Almost like it's a task, it's
right.
homework. We have to do this, so let's go do it. Because
right.
we're stubborn. And we fucking, ran down the trail, ran in a couple miles, turned around, ran back out. It's kind of what it is this time of year when you get this shit weather.
Right.
I don't know what you guys have had over there, but it's been wet. We've had snow.
Yeah, we have snow, and it's pretty cold.
Around. Yeah, stuck around. Usually here it melts away pretty quick, but not this year. So
this morning it was pretty icy.
Yeah. So we're Eastern Washington. You're over in the Tacoma, Seattle area. So do you have snow that's stuck around, or is it mainly just rain?
The snow is now gone, but the snow did stick around for about a week, I want to say.
Oh, yeah?
We had a weekend. Was it last weekend or the weekend before? I think it might have been the weekend before last, where I think it was Sunday night, either Saturday or Sunday, it started snowing. It came down pretty good, and it stuck. And then it snowed the next day. out of work. Like I went into work and it was like, come on, guys, like, the roads are clear. Like it's not bad. It wasn't like that thick of snow.
Well, it's the Seattle area.
It
That's
was wet enough where the roads didn't really get hit by it. And then I went away, and then we had snow a couple days after. I want to say it was the last weekend. I want to say Sunday night it snowed, but certain areas got hit harder than others. Like I didn't get it too bad here, but where my sister is at, she got fucking pounded. Like I went to her house a couple of days ago to get some decorations for Christmas from her. She had like, a good 2 inches in her backyard.
Wow.
And I had like barely anything here, so it's like these weird pockets over here, depending on like where you're at, elevation wise, the area that you're in.
That's true because
the little pockets of weather that are different.
Yeah,
and over there, or southbound, out by my sister and my mom, they get like I'm only a 20-minute drive from them, and they'll get an extra inch or two than I get. It's
wow. Weird. Yeah.
Well, that's Yakima gets hit a little harder than we do.
Right.
Palm Springs of Washington, my ass. They have worse weather.
Do the Palm Springs get snow?
They don't.
And we don't usually get snow over here. I mean, I don't know about you guys. I know you guys get more snow than we do.
We've been getting a lot.
We get our initial snow, so like January, February.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. That's pretty much how we do it.
To get hit before Christmas. Like, what the hell's going on here?
I don't know that we're that normal anymore, though. I don't know that we know what our normal is because we've had 2 bad winters in the last 4 or 5 years, and now this one's kind of reminding me of those. So,
well, we even about 4 or 5 years ago, we had a pretty nasty ice winter. I remember.
Right. So, I mean, it seems like it's getting worse than our normal trend. I mean, growing up, we had a handful of winters that I could recount that had really any
climate change, buddy.
Yeah,
I was going to say that
global something.
It's a real thing.
It was warming. Correct.
When I first moved here in the 90s, like we didn't really get snow over here.
Right.
No, you're right. I lived there in the 90s.
Yeah, there was no snow over here on the west side. I mean, once in a blue moon, you might get a day or two of some like mixture of rain and snow, but nothing very heavy.
Yeah.
It's every year we're getting more and more snow, it seems like.
Yeah.
I love the snow though. Is that what's crazy?
And the summers are getting hotter and hotter.
But it takes longer to get to summer. I don't know about you guys, but last year for us, I mean, it took forever. We were out in jackets in the spring when the kids are playing their like kickball game or whatever.
Yeah. It was
for the end
cold.
of the year. We had coats on. I'm like, what the hell's going on? It's like 2 weeks before school's out.
Well, yeah, and it got cold early this year too. I felt like, it like got hot. Well, it stayed hotter.
Guys, over here, it was like a flick of a light switch. It was balls hot. Like we were like in the 90s, like super hot, and all of a sudden, like boom, it was snowing the next day. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think for a while you guys might have been warmer than we were.
Yeah,
which was kind of weird. But
I feel like we had a pretty hot summer, but I feel like it was a little short.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely
was.
I'm
trying to remember. Like usually over here on this side, we don't really get that heat until like late June, early July. It's kind of when our summer starts. I feel like it's kind of short. I feel like the last couple of years we've had Indian summers where it comes like where it gets warm in July, but it stays warm until almost October.
Yeah,
that's kind of how this was this year, for us.
It's like summer started late and then it ended late.
Yeah.
That's an Indian summer, right?
I guess. I don't know. I've never heard that before.
But I feel like here, like it was pretty nice up till like early October. Like even September was pretty nice, and all of a sudden, like overnight, it just was like, okay, we're done, and it's cold now.
Right.
Wouldn't that be Native Americans?
30 degrees. I'm like, what the hell happened? Like it was 85 degrees yesterday. I swear. So I don't know.
No, it definitely, it switched fast for us too. And I don't recall when it did, but
dude, probably October.
Yeah.
Because it was like it was kind of warm.
Night wasn't that cold.
Yeah, well, it was pretty warm like all through like mid-October and stuff, and then like getting towards Halloween it started getting a little chilly, and then all of a sudden after Halloween it was probably like he said, like the switch hit and it's just fucking freezing,
frosty.
I know. That's when I slowed down the running because it was just it was too nasty. Like I did I did the turkey trot.
But we've had the snow on the ground, so that kind of knocks out wanting to go out and run.
This year.
Did you?
Yeah, I didn't do it because I found out about it too late. But remember that guy I was telling you about, Tom, that wanted that podcast with me?
Yeah.
He did a turkey trot with some people I saw on Instagram.
Oh, cool.
Shit, I totally would have done that.
Yeah, it was fun. I did it with my buddy who I go run with sometimes, and It was fun.
On a good note, that pain I was talking about that was in my thigh for like a month. Last time we talked, it was finally dissipated. I feel like.
Oh, that's good. So you can actually go out and do things.
Yeah. I'm not like feeling all sore and half limping around, so that's good, I guess. I mean, I have other aches and pains in my body, but that's just part of being old. But I feel like whatever I endured is finally better.
That's good.
Right.
Like that trail run, that little trail, I wouldn't say trail run, like I said, a little trail jog I did the other week I felt okay.
Yeah. Do you stretch out?
What's that?
Do you stretch out?
I do.
Good.
I have to. If I don't stretch,
See, that's where I'm at too. I'm screwed if I don't stretch.
But I'm I almost have like fear of pushing myself like too hard now. Like I feel like I almost babied it for a while, which might not help to get better.
Yeah.
So I kind of babied it, but I didn't want to like injure myself more. So I kind of just look at light. But now I'm almost scared to do like a full hard on run. Hard on run.
That's a different race.
We have a new title for our
running around in gray sweats. Like, the fuck's going on over here?
It's gray sweat season.
Our annual hard on run.
We're not doing any hard on runs, buddy. Take it down a notch.
It is a Seattle area, so I can
see that being a run.
A hard on run?
Yeah.
You have to maintain a boner while you run. Maybe. If you go limp, you're out. You're done.
Right,
man. Those other guys like, come on, man, you got to keep me hard.
Those old men on Viagra.
Yeah, true.
Like, what's that run where they pass the little wand back and forth or whatever?
Oh yeah, the marathon with the
grabbing a guy fucking
like a relay.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, the relay. Yeah,
like a relay race.
You're just holding your hand back. Come on. Oh, you dick.
The Dutch rudder.
No, really, it is your dick.
Yeah. So is Viagra a performance enhancing drug?
It would be.
Scenario?
It would be. 100%.
He's out. This comes in. He was on Viagra. He is no longer eligible.
He was in Seattle. He was. Wait, what's there? There's one that you can buy at the. There's like some kind of pill you can buy at like convenience stores too.
Oh, yeah? Right? I've heard some shit about something called Blue Chew.
Oh, there's a Blue Chew.
I listened to a podcast.
Yeah.
Brought to you by Blue Chew.
Yeah, I've heard the Blue Chew. I've seen that. It's like Hims, Blue Chew.
Oh, I've heard of Hims. Yeah.
There's one that's called. It's a stupid pill that you can see. You'll see them at convenience stores sometimes. That it gives you a hard on. Pill. Yeah, horny goat weed.
My guys, when I worked at Chevron, guys would come in like, "Hey, do you carry?" Like, and they're trying to like whisper it, and I'm like, "What is it? I don't know what that is." Like, to make them say it louder.
Can you explain that to me, please?
Hey guys, what exactly is that? You guys have Rhino? I'm like, Rhino?
Oh, that's the one.
Rhino?
Something like that.
It's Rhino something. I think there's another word in it. It's like Rhino something, but yes.
Do you have Rhino boner in here?
Thankfully, I'm not. I haven't purchased any yet. I haven't felt the need to. So
that's good.
But I know eventually, I'm sure, at some point in my age, I'll be like, I need some hard-on pills.
Hey, life happens.
Yeah, who cares? You still need to enjoy yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you're active though. You're moving around. That's
half the battle.
That's a big deal. Yeah, I know. My body did some funny things when I got lazy as shit. So
yeah,
it's definitely functioning better now.
Affects it. Definitely your lifestyle and being active and
man,
shit like that. So.
Well, we had kind of a funny thing happen because, I used to work in a job where I would get stressed quite a bit. I would get like the fight or flight kind of kicking in frequently. And on Friday, we had a lockdown at work that, to our knowledge, was a real lockdown. We just were told by our principal, like, kids are coming in, get in your classrooms. We're in a lockdown. We're like, oh, shit. Okay.
Oh, shit.
So it was funny because I was fine then, and I've been fine about it, but it's that adrenaline kick after effect that I hate, where your brain just like drops from you.
Yeah, because you just get like,
man, I realized how much emotional frustration I have from that feeling after that, because I haven't felt that in a very long time.
Yeah.
And I used to feel it so often that it was like, I've been kind of in a bad mood.
It does. It could do that.
I'm like, okay, I think I need to find a way to put myself there and deal with that particular part. Because, man, I was like annoyed. I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, everything's fine. Everything's good.
I don't know. I've gotten like that where I just get annoyed. I like have these like fuse weeks. I don't know. I think I call it my, it's my time of the month.
It's my menstruation period.
Yeah. it's my man month. Because I think guys get that.
I think we have. Yeah.
I think our hormonal
imbalances.
Oh yeah, for sure. It might not be quite as.
I took some Rhino the other day, and I'm all over the place.
I took some Blue Chew, and I'm fine.
I don't know. I feel like we all have our good days and our bad days. That's just part of being human too. It's not always driven by something. Sometimes we're just not feeling it, or we just feel a little more annoyed. I was at work.
Very true.
I was at work a couple of weeks ago, and I was working. I kind of bounced around the building and worked with different crews and stuff. And I was working with these guys that are like late teens, early 20s, and they're just really immature, and they're trying to be funny all the time, and they go a little too far. And it's annoying. It's like, listen, guys, I'm all about having a good time, but you're getting on my fucking nerves. Like, just get to work and give it a rest, and quit fucking picking at me because you're getting on my nerves.
Yeah.
I'm kind of having a rough day. I don't know why. I just was kind of tired. I just really wasn't feeling it, and fucking they kept poking at me. These two get together, and these two kind of gang up, and they just get a little shit talky. They're being jokesters, but they're gonna get a little too shit talky. It's like, hey guys, like, you might need to get checked.
They take it too far
sometimes. But I started getting annoyed, and I kind of jumped on one of them. I was like, hey man, I told you I'm not feeling it today. I need you to back up. Leave me alone, because you have to start to piss me off. And he kind of started getting like he was getting mad at me. He's like, oh, don't get loud with me. I'm like, listen, dude, like, I told you earlier I'm out of the mood today, and you keep fucking pushing me. Don't make me be the bad guy now, so I'm telling you I've had enough. And we kind of exchanged some words, and he's like, don't get loud with me. I'm like, you don't want to get loud with me, dude. Like, seriously, I'm a grown man. Like, I'm not playing this bullshit with you. When I tell you I've had enough, that means I've had enough. You need to chill the fuck out.
Man.
I just won't talk to you anymore. I was like, good, don't talk to me, dude. Go do your work and leave me the fuck alone.
Right, I don't need this.
Seriously.
Yeah, I'm here to work. I'm not here to fucking bicker with children.
No, that's... when I worked with Gabe, he was jokes.
I came in the next week, and it was this was like right before Thanksgiving, so we had this extended weekend. When I came back on Monday, and I'm kind of thinking like, oh, how's this going to play out? So I came back on Monday, and he's walking towards me, and he's like, hey man, like, you have a good Thanksgiving? I'm like, yeah, it was good. He's like, man, let's just squash last week, and I apologize, and we squashed it. He came in and was adult. I think he felt a little bad about it. He might have had some time to think about it and realize he was being an asshole.
Yeah.
But it was all good. We squashed it. And,
well, that's cool.
We're adults. He was man enough to come up and apologize and shake my hand and you have a good weekend. I'm like, yeah, man, it's good. Yours, like,
yeah.
I mean, that says a lot right there.
We don't act right. He might have been having a day too. I don't know. You know what I mean? But,
well, and I think at that age, you just don't think things through the same.
No, you don't.
It's just like you're joking around, and then they get embarrassed that they got called out on it. And
yeah. Well, sometimes
I was getting a little irritated. I think I walked over by one of the pallets and I fucking smacked one of the boxes off. I was being a little immature myself because I was pissed. I was getting worked up where I was like, I feel like I want to swing on somebody, but I'm a grown man, so I can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, I get you, because that's how I hit my toes. I got super annoyed, not with someone, but just with the stresses at home, and like my dogs were annoying the shit out of me, and I just went outside and kicked something because I was just like, God damn it! And then I'm like hurt my toe, and then I'm just like, God damn it! Why do I gotta act like a 3-year-old?
It does feel
grown ass man.
Too. Like at least for me, I mean, not for you guys because you guys have families, but for me, it's kind of been a rough month. It's the holidays are here, and I'm single, and I'm like by myself at the house over here, and I'm trying to get myself in the spirit. Like I went to Hobby Lobby and got this little baby tree and strung lights on it, and went to my sister's house and got some little ornaments for it. Put some decorations in the house, trying to get in the holiday spirit. But at the end of the day, I'm on the couch sitting here by myself, and I'm like, it fucking sucks, man. I know anybody who's single struggles with the holidays because you're by yourself.
We've talked a lot about that over the last few weeks. Yeah.
What's that?
We've talked a lot about that over the last few weeks about how this is a time of the year that really puts
it's very stressful.
Your face, what's happening in life. So
yeah, just like last week. No, it was just Friday actually. This last Friday, Jess had her company Christmas party, and it was something that we had planned on doing together. I even went out and helped her look at different venues for it and stuff. And we were going to do this. And usually one of our nights where we hang out is Friday. We do Tuesdays and Fridays. So Friday was her Christmas party, so we didn't get to hang out. And it was I'm sitting here at the house by myself, and she was like, texting me from the party, and I'm just like sitting there like, this is bullshit, man. Like, I don't fucking, just felt super depressed and just down and by myself. And it's just this time of year, man, I feel like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like every time my shit does fall apart, like relationship wise, it's always right around the holidays.
Yeah.
It's like, can we time this out any better?
Can we do summers or something?
Right. When you're actually able to go out and do other fun things.
I need to get my mind off and go do something else.
Have you found?
Because with this weather we've been having, it's hard to get out and do anything.
Yeah,
man.
for sure.
It's shitty outside, and it's like, it's pissing rain or.
Right.
I know I live on the west side of Washington, and it's very wet over here, but I'm telling you, I struggle with the winters, like weather-wise, and so now here I am, kind of having this cabin fever. Like I was really good about keeping myself busy in the past, but now it's the time of year where it's hard to get out. So I'm struggling with the cabin fever, and then I'm single, so I'm struggling with that,
and I think. And then having that cabin fever and being like by yourself, I'm sure you just stew on everything more because you're just in your thoughts all day and shit.
Like I'm not sleeping at night because when I go to lay down, like my brain's just going a mile a minute.
I know that feeling.
Thinking about all this stuff, and I mean, anybody who listened to our last podcast like knows my situation, and me and her, like I said, have a set schedule where she comes over Tuesdays and we hang out for a bit, and then we'll maybe go get dinner. Come back, watch a little TV, and she'll come upstairs and we'll snuggle for a little bit. And she'll tuck me in kind of and go home. It's really nice. And Friday night she'll come over and we'll hang out and get some food and do some drinks, and she'll actually stay the night. So we do have our 2 days a week, but it's also like the way things are going right now. It's still like that reminder of like, oh, we're doing this. Like we're still not officially together.
Okay,
we're not doing things as a couple. We're not, like if I'm going somewhere for a family function or some kind of gathering, she doesn't go with me, vice versa. And every time either one of us, I know she's feeling it too, but every time either one of us do that kind of thing, it's like when we're done, we're like, I wish we would have been there. Like it's not the same without you there. Like I know she's feeling it too, but at the same time, not to play hers down, she's got a house full of kids to take care of. So she's kind of, her brain's more active, just focused on other things where I'm just here. Just like I said last time, by myself.
Right. Yeah. It's a whole different ballgame.
Stupid in my thoughts, and I want things to be different. And like I said, we're kind of in purgatory right now. I think we're both kind of getting tired of that.
Right.
It's just a way to make that next step work. But I don't know if we're quite there yet, man. There's some things to iron out still. And I was doing really good and working on, like I said, I was in a negative headspace for a long time. We talked about that last time, and trying to work on that and be more positive. And I feel like I was doing really good with that. And I was listening to like a lot of self-help podcasts and watching videos on YouTube and kind of doing my own therapy for myself. And I feel like the last couple of weeks I kind of fell off of that, and I'm kind of falling back into this dark space, and I don't like it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what to do with that at this moment. Like I don't know what it's going to take to get me out of that. I'm trying to like see the positive about stuff and be like, well, you have your friends and your family, and you have people who care about you. You're not really alone.
Right.
But when you come home and you're alone, it feels like you're all alone in general.
Oh yeah, no, that feeling of being alone. I mean, I have a family and stuff, and I still feel that way.
Friends that I'm really close with right now because they're all settled down and doing their family thing, so they're busy. So, and that's a struggle for me as well. Like, I feel like I don't really have this support system. Like last time, like when I got divorced, I had this like huge support system of friends, and like I was, hanging out with this person and that person, and we were doing stuff, and I was active, and I was keeping my mind off of things. But this time around, it's like it's wintertime and the weather's shit, and I don't really have much to do or anybody to deal with because most of my friends are busy doing their shit.
Yeah.
And it's just like I've fallen back into this space where I'm just like, I'm kind of a sad bastard, like boo-hoo for me, and being kind of like down on myself. And I got to find a way to stop doing that and realize that things could be a lot worse.
They could. But I understand. I mean, that's the thing is like, as much as we talk about, find ways to do this and do that. And in the thick of it, it's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
And, but you're not alone. I mean, that's for anybody that's dealing with that. Like you're not you are not alone. There are a lot of people that care, but that feeling, I mean, we've all been there, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I was saying, like, I get those feelings where I just feel alone, and I have like people around me, like my family, my kids, but there's just these times where I'm like in that dark space where I just like feel like I don't have anybody. And it is
that even with having a family, huh?
I do. And that's just something I struggle with, I think, with whatever traumas.
What do you think fuels that? Like, what do you think makes you feel that way?
You know, I don't know. Sometimes I just think I get in these headspace where I just don't feel like I can talk to someone about it. And so I just kind of stew on whatever I'm like stressing on.
And see, I do that shit too, Jesse. Like I said, these last couple of weeks I've been kind of feeling down, and I'm not really being vocal enough about it. Like, just like I said before, like me and Jess had our issues where I wasn't being open with my feelings enough. And I feel like right now I'm kind of starting to do that again. So I have to not do that. Right. She's like, I feel like something's been off the last couple of weeks and you're not really here. And I'm like, I'll be okay. And I'll say once in a while, like, it is what it is. And
yeah. That's like, standard saying.
And I know we're not officially together. So that shouldn't bother me. Like there's a certain incident, just like Friday night. I was like, yeah, I'm kind of down. Like I told her, I was like, I wish I was at the party with you. Like we kind of planned this together and I was supposed to be there. And now I'm at the house and you're out having a good time. And I'm fucking sitting here like twiddling my thumbs and feeling like a lonely bastard because it's Friday night and I have absolutely nothing to do. And usually we're spending time together tonight. So it's like, I'm in this dark space and I'm all boo-hoo. But then I have to remember like, well, we're not together.
Yeah. But that routine that you guys developed.
So I can't sit here and be all boo-hoo about it when it is what it is. And I even said, like, it is what it is. And she's like, oh, it is what it is. It sounds kind of like a not so positive comment. Like, we can talk about this, Like, you don't have to sit there and feel like crap. Like,
and that is kind of like one of those comments,
right?
Though.
Well, one thing to think about too is, I mean, it's kind of telling what you just said because you said that you've been feeling more down the last couple weeks, so you're definitely not kind of in your normal headspace, right?
Yeah.
And then that coincides with you having a harder time communicating.
Well, yeah, and the fact that
it makes sense, yeah.
He has this routine where they do spend time together on the those Tuesdays and Fridays, and so when that breaks up that routine, like when you're expecting, like no, this is our time together, and we're gonna do something kind of nice. Right. That really.
Well, your body kind of gets like a dopamine hit,
shot
right?
To
like
me.
That you got something to look forward to. Your brain's kind of like anticipating it, and then even if you know you're not going to get it,
like,
it takes it away.
Like I'm like in my head, I'm like, all right, like it's Friday, the week's over. I'm gonna get spend the night with Jess. Like it's gonna be good. And then this last Friday, I was like, I'm gonna work Friday. I'm like, I don't even give a shit. Like when I get off or get out of here, if I stay here late or like what. Like I have nothing to look forward to tonight. I'm just gonna go home and sit around by myself.
Yeah. Right.
So I chose to. I had to go do some run around, get some shopping done, and I chose to stop over at the Dollar Tree over by the Albertsons over here because they usually have like cheap decorations. And I'm like, I want to get a couple more things for the house and try to Christmas it up. Like I'm trying to get myself in a better mood.
Yeah.
I go over to the Dollar Tree because money's tight right now, and I go over and I buy a couple decorations, and I come home and I got my little fake fireplace lit, my little tree flickering, and I'm putting some decorations up, like trying my damnedest to get myself into a better headspace and kind of get the spirit of Christmas and feel better. But I sit down, I look at it all, and I'm just sitting there by my fucking self,
Yeah.
And Jess, shoots me a text at like 10 o'clock and is like, well, I'm wrapping up here. Like, you still up? And I'm like, well, I'm getting kind of tired now. Like, I've been up since early this morning. I've kind of been sitting here all day. When I sit too long, I kind of just get lethargic and just like, I don't really have much. Like, I'm getting kind of tired. I'm not really like chatty because I haven't done anything. I'm not stimulated. So I'm kind of like, like at this point, it's like, by the time you get here, it's going to be 10:30. I'm already getting kind of tired. Like, you should probably just go home. Like, at this point, let's just call it a wash. Like, I'm not even trying to salvage this night anymore. I'm just going to take it for what it is and just go to bed. So we didn't get to spend any time together Friday. And then we went out last night and, towards the end of the evening, she was kind of mentioning me going back to her place, which is something that we haven't been doing.
Yeah.
So that was also like kind of awkward because her middle daughter is definitely a little bothered by the fact that me and her have any kind of communication. And it's kind of uncomfortable for me to go over there and, have maybe Phoenix stomping around or being in a mood because I'm there and like she's avoiding me. And it's just this like elephant in the room.
Yeah.
And I had the podcast to do today. And I was like, well, I got that podcast in the morning. He's like, well, usually Reba's up early, so she'll be down in the living room, playing video games or doing whatever. But you could, maybe you can go down to the basement and do your podcast. And I'm like, what? Like, you want me to go down to your unfinished, cold, damp basement and do a podcast because I can't be in the living space because your 9-year-old's in there, running the show. There can't be any adjustments made. And that takes me back to the purgatory of where we're at. I just feel like something's got to change for this to work with me and her and the kids and find this balance.
Yeah. How long were you guys together? I don't recall. Cause I know with going into a developed family, I guess, because I went into a relationship where, my wife now had 3 kids.
Older kids.
Yeah. 2 older. One was, she was 4, 5. She was 5. So it didn't really, that was easier. But the older ones, it was really hard. It took, and I'm not even joking, it took years for things to get better. It wasn't always terrible, don't get me wrong, but it's just tough because I'm not that kid's parent. And I didn't at the time feel comfortable saying things when for me, when it felt like this is, it's kind of fucked up, or, this isn't right because it's just different. So it took a lot of years to develop that relationship with the kids. And one thing I always told my wife was well, I'm not going to change who I am. Eventually the kids are going to see me for me.
Right.
And I think that finally came around, but so that's why I wasn't sure how long you guys been in a relationship. Cause I know in that aspect, things can be really tough with, being a step person.
Was kind of, I was surprised to hear how it wasn't so much Ruby, the little one, who had a problem. She did make a comment she thought I was mean because I think she, I was definitely a little more authority and a little more no, we're not doing that. She wasn't used to that. She's like, who's this guy telling me no? So Ruby struggled in that aspect. But I always felt me and the middle daughter, we were pretty good, man. She would come home from school and we'd sit in the kitchen and talk for 2 hours. And me and her always had this really good rapport. I never really had to come down on her because she just kind of spent most of her time in a room. Every now and then I would just ask her hey, come down and get these dishes done. But I never really rode her. The more parenting that I feel I was doing was with Ruby. I was trying to set new boundaries and be all right, we're not doing this kind of stuff anymore. Mm-hmm. And that was a lot of push and pull. But me and Phoenix were pretty solid.
Yeah.
He's the one who's avoiding me and not really happy with the fact that, I'm still in the picture somewhat. And
how old is she?
I thought we were always pretty good. And a lot of that could just be because she saw mom hurt and she's been,
she's probably protective.
Around and that's an ugly situation. So here's someone who came in that she thought she had this relationship with, and then I was gone. That could be it.
Right. Now, how old is the?
It could be her discarding herself from being let down again. But
how old is the middle girl?
Maybe sit down and talk with her. But she's got her girlfriend here,
the younger one
from California, who's been living in the house for the last 3 months, and her flight got canceled, and she just never went home. And now her girlfriend's damn near living there, and that's kind of frustrating too. Is I feel I'm not coming over to the house because I'm trying to not step on anyone's toes, but here's her 16-year-old with her daughter, with her girlfriend, pretty much living there, and I feel she's kind of running the show. It's wait, I can't come over, but you're kind of running the house and got your girlfriend there, and I can't sit down and have a conversation with her about things because she's got her girlfriend on her hip all the time. So we can't even have a conversation. It's this weird dynamic in the house over there, and it's just not. It's not for me. It's not. I don't.
Yeah.
Jess knows. I don't.
Probably not productive at this point.
Her juvenile's daughter, girlfriend, pretty much living there and living in her room, and it's just a weird vibe over there, and I just don't know how I fit into it. And there's things that I don't agree with.
Yeah.
So kind of the core values.
I don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
We do have different ways that we parent. Jess is definitely more I wouldn't let my son's girlfriend come live in my house and stay in his room with him, and it's just.
No, yeah, I got you.
I don't know what to do with it. She's got ways she parents. I have ways that I parent, and I don't know how to mesh that. We have to have this sit down and go, okay, we both have to maybe adjust what we do a little bit if we want to make this work. And I feel
well, I think you do need to have that conversation.
She parents the way she parents, and I just have to kind of either deal with that or not.
like I know me and my wife have different parenting
like
styles.
I'm definitely willing to bend. I was definitely maybe a little hard on the kids at times in the past, and I'm willing to bend a little bit, maybe let things slide and be a little easier going. But I don't know if she's willing to change how she parents at all. She doesn't have to. That's her choice how she raises her kids. But
well, I think you do need to have like a sit down serious like convo about, if you guys are going to make this work, how are we going to move forward with, not disciplining the kids, but just how we're going to raise these kids
in general. Yeah.
Because obviously she is going to, she is the mom. So in the end, obviously like in your thoughts, it's like, well, she makes the decisions at the end,
Now it sounds like this is the primary issue. Is that correct? Like the parenting issue is kind of the biggest.
That's a fair statement for sure. I just don't know.
Because that's a big thing.
No, it's a huge.
How we can make that work. Like, I feel like we have to, like Jesse says, sit down and have a serious talk about like expectations and what.
Well, because you're talking about core values.
And I think that's where I got frustrated before, where like when I was standing there living there, like I said before, and I was out of work and I was there during the day, and I was watching Ruby and was kind of like playing kind of Mr. Mom.
Yeah. And
I feel like if I'm going to do something like that, I'd have to have some kind of say so and like how things are being played out. And I feel like, he was like, no, that's not the way we do things. Yeah. I want you to be here and kind of be this part-time caretaker, but like, you got to do it my way.
Yeah. And I know the kids are they're going to have pushback, depending on their personalities really. But if you're a parent different than Jess, there's going to be pushback because they're going to be like, well, I'm not, I don't do that. And so that's where it's like, that development
divide and conquer too.
But that development's that's not going to just happen. That's going to take time.
I think they're used to a certain pattern and, like, well, this is what we do. Like, who are you to come in here and try to change things?
Right. But you guys ultimately have to agree. I mean, if it's going to work, you guys are going to have to find
like you said, the
right, because you can't, if you're not supported. We've talked about this before. I think I never felt like if I needed to correct Elena, that Blanca would be.
Yeah, you just got.
She would mama bear. Don't get me wrong, but
I'm just kidding.
But she, I was allowed to be a parent.
Yeah,
if you're not allowed to be a parent, that's a really.
Does Jess get on you if you do like parent a certain way?
She just lets me know, like, I don't know, like if Ruby's acting a certain way and I kind of get fed up with it, I'm like, hey, like, enough. Like, we're not doing, like, eat your dinner or whatever it might be. She kind of gets a little angry, like, hey, like, calm down. Like,
yeah. And I think that's probably the mama bear coming out. That's mama bear coming out for sure.
I mean, that's to some degree.
That's going to happen.
All moms do that.
My wife does that now with our son that we have together. If I like, hey, dude, like, you need to like chill. Like, she'll be like, hey, you don't talk to my son. I'm like, no, take a step back. That's our kid.
I just feel like a lot of the problem might have been also is that we didn't really have a chance. Like, me and the kids never really had this bond.
Oh, yeah, I get that.
And right, 100%. And then it just started where, like, I was kind of staying there and I was kind of jumping in on parenting.
My guy.
Have that bond built, and that probably didn't help either. Like, hey,
sure.
Wait, hold on, dude. Like, you're just some guy my mom's dating, and you're over here telling me what to do. Like, it doesn't work for me. And I understand that. I get that.
Yeah, that's how it was. Like, I jumped into our relationship. I kind of like moved in because I was living where I was living. My lease was up, so my wife's like, "Hey, move in with me." And so I was like, "Did you talk to the kids? We'll talk about it." And then, like, it was all set and I was in this picture, but I also had to take my step back because I was like, I ain't these kids' dad. Like, I can't. Like, there would be certain things that really would eat at me, and I had to like bite it. Like, I had to like, okay, I want to say something, but I don't know. I don't at that time anyway. I didn't feel comfortable. Like, if I would say something, this could be a bad
thing. There's a lot of times where I just kept my mouth shut because I didn't feel like it was my place to step in. And I guess in a perfect world for me would be like, because I do want this to progress. I do want this to work.
And it's going to take time.
Jess and doing what I'm doing right now, if I didn't want to foresee the future together, like, obviously I'm working towards a goal. So I guess a perfect world for me would be like, because I'm not going to the house at all right now, but we could go over and have dinner and hang out for a little bit and then take off and like just have this small.
I think that would actually be pretty healthy.
Probably would be healthy.
Like, that would be very healthy.
That relationship with the kids and staying and when I go over there for these visits or whatever, I stay the hell out of whatever's going on over there. It's not my business. It's not my house. It's not, you know what I mean? Like, that's not my place. And I know that. So, like, you know, go over and have dinner or go over and watch a movie and have small interactions with the kids and maybe build that bond.
I think
for sure.
And then kind of work from there.
Well,
I think that's smart.
I mean, you're going to end up in the scenarios where they're going to start to get used to you and they have time to adjust and they're going to then see you as somebody who cares enough to be.
Well, they're going to see, like you just said, they're going to see that you know, okay, this guy really is for real. Because I can see why, was it the 9-year-old, the middle child?
The middle child is 16. The youngest is 9. The oldest one does not live at home anymore, so that's not really even.
But you know that relationship you had, like, was it the youngest one you had the?
Focused on.
Was the youngest one the one you had the, you know, like you guys would talk for hours and stuff, or was that the oldest?
No, that was the middle one. That was Phoenix. That was the teenager.
Okay. And I can see why she's probably like.
Good relationship.
Right.
I can see why she might be a little different.
Was where we clashed.
Yeah.
You know? Like I would get a little frustrated with. She was very, I feel, short fused when she was quick to, you know, if something was a hiccup, she was losing her mind about it. It was, you know, not eating dinner, or once Jess would tell her no about something, she would start to throw a fit, and it's like she can never just take it in the chin. She can never just take a no or enough. It's always push for more, and if she didn't get that, she would.
Those different personalities.
With that. Like, hey, like at some point, like the mom says no, you got to just take it as a no and just not mind about it. Like you got to you can't always. It was always back talk, kind of like it was always a debate. Everything was a debate. Everything was a debate.
Dude,
and I struggled with that.
Oh no, I literally struggle with that now. So the youngest one that came, like when I came in the relationship, she was 5. Now she's 15. And she kind of has that, you know,
that need to argue.
Yeah, she you know, she'll you know, voice her opinion and stuff. And so there's, now that I'm like actually developed in being one of the parents, like I can, you know, there's times where I'm like, hey, you know, you need to, like, we're just asking questions. You don't need to be like coming at us like that. And that took, you know, like I said, I've been in this relationship 10 years now. So it's taken that long for me to develop some of these relationships. So I can see why some of the kids might push back too. Like, cause you said, was it the 16-year-old that's now she seems different. She's pulled back. She's probably just scared. It's my thing.
I think so too. And
she just doesn't want to see. She doesn't want to get those feelings.
Where she would stomp around the house and get snappy. That's just part of being a 16-year-old. Like I never really, I never really struggled much with Phoenix. I just, you know, like I said, I thought we had a pretty good relationship, and we would. I mean, when Jess wasn't home, I don't know what it was about mom not being there, where she felt more comfortable with me. But like when Jess was at work and it was just me and Phoenix there, we would have some great discussions. And
I think she probably likes that.
Yeah. Like I think our bond started with father having these fathers that we felt very hurt by, and you know, she is not in any kind of contact with her father, doesn't care to be, and I understand that he's a pretty terrible person. Yeah, and I also have this, like, I get it. Like my dad was a piece of shit, and so we kind of had that connection of like, I wish I had an awesome dad too. Like I wish I had that. We both lack that.
Makes a lot of sense why she'd be upset with you, right?
Well, bond. Yeah, we both have that same father pain.
That's what I was thinking.
And I would talk to her like, hey, like I get it, and I understand your pain, and I'm here, and if you ever want to talk, and like I really extended that olive branch, like, hey, Phoenix, like I got your back.
Yeah, I can see why she probably has that wall right now, though.
I'm here to talk to you. Just please know that, and I do care about you, and I do. Yeah, you know, like I generally care about her.
Well,
I really do.
The good news, Brian, I think she cares about you too.
Like that, we're at where we're at. Like I'm hurt that, you know, like that she just is like, oh, what the hell? Like, just doesn't want anything to do with me, and I don't come to the house because I don't want to make it uncomfortable for her. And I just kind of want to be like, hey, Phoenix, like, hey, like, stop, like, let's talk about this. Like, what's going on? Like, do you feel? Is your wall up because you don't want to be let down by another male in your life, or that?
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is.
Let someone in? Is that someone's just going to leave?
I think she let you in at one time.
Take it personal. It's her father shit that she's probably dealing with right now. Yeah, and I'm trying to see that. And like I said, I would love to sit down and have a talk with her, but it's not really a thing right now because she's got her girlfriend there, and that's what's going on in the house right now. It's like the Phoenix Finale show, and where the hell do I fit in?
Do you think you could go and just start with a dinner and not care about the girl being there.
In the past, I'm like, hey, like, how about like how we take small steps? I'm like, invite me over for dinner sometime.
Right.
She hasn't done that. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Do you think that you can be okay with the girlfriend being there? Are you going to be able to be in a position of neutrality in that setting where that's not an issue in that moment?
Well, it's not really like, I don't have a problem with the girlfriend being there. I mean, everyone's allowed to have their shit. I feel like, her, it's the situation. It's not my business because I don't live there, but like, eventually if we're going to be together and we're going to foresee the future together, like, and that's a situation that I am a part of. Like, I don't agree with the fact that.
So something I can touch up on that.
Living there, living like shacking up in her bedroom. Like, I don't agree with that. But that's not my business. But
that's a core value.
I feel like at this moment, I can't really sit down and start building something with them as a family as long as this outside person is in the house, because that's kind of uncomfortable. It's like, hey, like, I'm trying to I want this to work, but like, you don't, like, okay, so go back home and let me try to fix this. I just feel like there's that, like, a elephant in the room. It's like, I can't really, like, her and Ollie are connected to the hip. So even if I did try to have a talk with just Phoenix, like, it's not really a thing right now because she's not available.
Yeah.
Have you tried just saying, hey, Phoenix, can I just talk to you, just me and you? You know, can we step out? Like, just, hey, whatever her girlfriend's name is, like, I just want to, I'm just having a conversation with her and something in that sense. Because, she probably is building up that wall. Like,
I think she's protecting herself.
Yeah, she had you, she did let you in. And so then when stuff didn't work out, she's probably just like,
well, how afraid she probably is to lose you.
I don't want to lose this. Because I did develop this nice relationship and I had someone to talk to, and I don't want to start having this feeling and then it go away again. Because that.
Right. I think that's really what it is. She felt like, she felt let down.
Yeah.
And I mean, like I said, I was never hard on Phoenix. I really wasn't. Like, we had a good friendship. It wasn't there trying to really parent her. Like I said, the only thing I would say once in a while was like, hey, like, you've been home from school for 4 hours. It's time to get those dishes done. But I was never like, hey, come down here and get these goddamn. Like, I was
no. And I don't think you should ever have to be that way.
Like, once you come down, mom's gonna be home soon. Like, I was very chill with her. Like, I don't think she was upset with me about how I interacted with her, because our interactions were pretty positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think she's more got her wall up of guarding her feelings and being let down by someone not being there anymore. And I would love to talk to her about that. And I would love to make this all work. I just don't know. Like I said, maybe start baby steps, go over and have dinner. And
I think I think that'd be a cool way, because I can touch on the whole living together thing.
But I don't stay the night. I go home, just baby step it in. And when I am there, don't even step foot in a parenting situation. If something arises, I let Jess handle it.
Yeah.
I stay out of that. And I build that friendship with them before I try to go any further with that. Like, it's not my place to go in there, because it's not my place to go in there and parent them. It's not.
I
felt like towards the end, it kind of was, because I was kind of living there. And like I said, I was like part-time, like I was Ruby's sitter. And I felt like I was getting to a place where, like, I should have some say-so. But right now, I don't.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to sometimes you just got to
parent.
If, like, in some of the situations that I at least in my experience was, there'd be something come up, and then instead of me like being this parent, like, blah, saying something that I probably shouldn't, I would, later on maybe talk to the, one of the kids, like, hey, maybe just, respect your, just kind of like more of a, not a parent, but like a friend or someone, like a teacher. I would just try to give them some advice. That wasn't that cool.
Kind of poorly, and maybe we should, I know what you mean. Like,
that's how I used to develop it. Was like, I would just kind of say something, have these like little small combos, because I'm not I don't want everyone to know. Maybe I don't want all the kids to know what's going on. So I would just set the kid aside and just, hey man, what's going on?
That's a great idea. Let it play out how it plays out, and then afterwards say, hey.
Because emotions are going to be all over the place.
Maybe next time, we try that a little differently, and we shouldn't talk to mom that way, or But I don't know. I don't know if that would resonate. I don't know. I mean, it's worth a shot. But like I said, right now,
I think they'll see that you're trying, though.
I'm not in a position to go over there and try to help her parent. Like, that's not for sure. Right now, we're not even technically together. We're just hanging out, and I just want to work on building a relationship with the kids.
It's just one step at a time.
That could change, and that could change everything. Like, that could change.
Sure.
If we have that relationship and we build that bond, they'll take better to me maybe stepping in from time to time, saying, "Hey, we're not doing that." Like, now we have that relationship. Now we have that bond or that whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
it takes time to see that.
Well, would you listen to somebody that you thought might be gone?
Not doing that. Like, they're like,
I wouldn't,
dude. Yeah. Like, I don't even care about you like that. So you don't get to.
You don't get to say nothing. No, my oldest daughter, she actually. So we had a situation where her boyfriend, he ended up living at our house for a while, and my wife was, in the sense, she didn't really agree with it, and I'm not in agreement or disagreement. Like I could see, I was like, I put myself in the situation, and so I had to come up with the, like, okay, well, I don't think it's a bad thing. Like, we have set rules, and obviously rules get broken. That's going to happen. I mean, I'd be an idiot to think otherwise, but for the most part, it was, it actually worked out pretty well. And he kind of stayed away, did his thing. Like, so if we had to talk to the oldest about something, she was like 17 at that time, I think. She's 18. So she was older already, but I was just like, no, I don't think it's a problem as long as they're helping or doing this. But
a little different than 16.
A little different. I mean, situations are different, though. You never,
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see why. I can see that conversation, how that can be like a big thing, because you got two conflicting things.
It's a core value issue. I mean, it's something that is very personally held and probably isn't going to change. A viewpoint like that is.
I know, and I took it because my mom was very religious when I grew up. Like, I've spoke on this before, like super religious, anti everything, and like no Halloween because it's the devil and all this crap. But for whatever reason, she would allow, like, at the time, like, my girlfriend to spend the night. She'd always let her spend the night. Now, we couldn't sleep in the same room or nothing, obviously.
And that's my thing. I was like, hey, like, I get, like,
but
maybe her coming here and spending some time here, but A, it should be a little more monitored, and B, you've got a spare bedroom downstairs that she should be staying in.
Yeah, for sure.
But, and this relationship started a couple of years ago, so they were even younger. And I thought it was weird that her girlfriend's parents, who had no idea, had never been here, never met Jess, they just left her.
Oh, yeah, that's not okay.
It was like 12 or 13 her first trip here. They sent her out here by herself and let her stay here. And that's weird to me. Like, I wouldn't let my.
I wonder how her living situation is.
Travel out of state and go stay with people I didn't know.
Right.
So that's weird on their end too. But that's not my business. But like I told Jess, I'm like, hey, like, I get it. I'm not saying like you can't have a relationship at 16, but your girlfriend shouldn't be sleeping in your room.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, that's just too far.
I wonder what her situation was.
In the spare room.
That's what I want.
I know.
That's the core value that I have. I'm not this like old school traditional, like no, like so strict of a parent. Like yeah, it's cool. That's your girlfriend, right on. That's cool, but like you're not sleeping in your room.
Right.
And what is that showing everybody else? I told her, I was like, what if when Ruby gets older, she wants to have a boy come stay the night? Like, would you let him sleep in her room? Because if you say no to that, then this shouldn't be happening either.
Right.
You're setting a standard now.
That's exactly. Being a hypocrite.
It's not just the fear of pregnancy. It's everything.
Yeah.
Also,
but I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I just that's a core value that I have. I don't agree with that, but I don't live there. It's not like I said, it's not my business right now. But
sure.
And by the time maybe it is my business, she'll be an adult anyway, and it won't matter. So
that's true. But I mean, the concept.
I just want to get to a point where I could start having small interactions at the house and start working on this, because I do want it to work. I do. I really do. I love Jess to fucking hell and back. Like, she's amazing, and I would love for this to all work out and spend my life with her. I think she's an amazing woman and so caring and loving and has this huge heart and is just a good person and takes me for who the fuck I am, good and bad. And I want this to work. I'm spending this time with her because I want this to work. I just don't know how we start taking this step into introducing me back to the house with the kids, because that's got to be, it can't just be me and her. She's a mom. She's got kids. It has to be all of us.
Yeah.
Like, she can't have this outside relationship. Like, that's weird. Like,
Right.
we have to make this work if this is what we want. And
Right.
I would love to start taking these small steps and building a relationship with the kids this time around. And like I said, come over for dinner and have these small interactions and show them that I'm not this monster that I was kind of being last time I was there. Like I said, I was in a deep place or a dark place, and I was just getting to the point where I was just and just was, it was this dark cloud over the house, and a lot of that was me, and I was difficult. And I want to show them, like, hey, that's not who I am.
Right.
Like that guy that I was being before that you didn't like so much, like, give me a chance to show you that's not who I am.
Mm-hmm.
But we all have to, like I told you, we all have to work to make it work. It can't just be me trying to make it work. We all have to give a little bit and adjust. Even the kids, we all have to adjust if we want this to work. I can't fix everything by myself.
Sure. But I think you're right about
be a little more conscious of behaviors and the way we interact together. I can't take the responsibility for everything not working last time.
Right.
I take a big responsibility of that. I do. I've told Jess, like, hey, I take full responsibility for my shortcomings last time around, but I feel like we all make mistakes.
But you would not be moving.
I can't sit there and take the blame for everything.
You would not be moving back in, though.
My shortcomings, since I had a lot of them.
Right.
But I can't be the one to make this all work. This doesn't all fall on my shoulders. It's not up to me to make all this work. It's up to all of us to make it work.
But the scenario would be different too, because you're not talking about moving right back in. I mean, I think you're talking about incrementally stepping in.
Just a slow process coming in.
We're not jumping back into.
Yeah.
I want to start redoing this the right way.
Yeah, I think you're well on your way. Honestly,
I want to baby step it.
I think you got to realize you're gonna
now. She comes over here twice a week and we hang out. But we've been doing that long enough where it needs to start to progress. Like right now, we're just at a standstill.
Have you guys had that talk?
Where neither one of us are liking that.
Right.
I'm over here depressed because I'm let down when something changes, or I don't get to see her, or I'm somewhere doing something and wishing she was with me, and vice versa. She's getting the same thing. And she said last night, she's like, I don't like this. Like, I don't like what we're doing right now. Like, so what's next? Like, even she's obviously where I'm at. We're both in a place where it's like, okay, like, where do we go from here? Because on her end, she's like, I have this whole life going on over here that you're not a part of.
Right.
And that's not working for me.
Right.
I need you to be a part of my life. If you're going to be a part of my life, I need you to be a part of my life.
Yep. Yeah.
And I get that. And I feel the same way. It's like, hey, if we're going to play this fake relationship, like, what are we doing with this? Are we just going to keep doing this casual ass, you have your life and I have my life, and we come together twice a week and then we leave it at that? Because nobody wants to do that forever. We're too old for that shit.
So what do you think is stopping you guys from taking that next step? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is it like a fear?
Have you talked about it?
Well,
as far
as
in depth,
right,
laying it out in terms, have you tried to have that discussion to say, okay, what does the next step look like, and have you made it clear?
Need to sit down and have that discussion. We really haven't.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like, I'm not. Just like last week, I was going to go grocery shopping, and we go to the same place usually on the same day to grocery shop. And I was like, hey, like, I'm over at Wapato. I was taking a little walk around the lake. I was trying to get out. I was in a dark place, and I was having a really, really rough day. So when I get like that, I try to get out of the house and just go take a walk, or just like be outside, or just kind of get some fresh air and kind of get myself together. And I was having a really rough day, and I went over to this park, and I was walking around and just kind of getting some fresh air. And I texted her and was like, hey, I'm heading to Winco shortly, like, to do some shopping. And it's like, oh, like, I'm there right now. I'm like, oh, cool. And it's like, well, I have all the kids with me. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I'm like, well, I would come shop with you, but I don't want to make shit weird. Like, Phoenix is going to be there awkward. I'm like, that's kind of.
Maybe not have that mindset.
Yeah, I think you need to tweak that mindset.
Yeah,
realize
just be like, you know what,
Phoenix
fuck it.
Is.
You know what, I'm here for her. I'm not here for. I know this doesn't sound right, but it said I'm not here for the kids. I'm here for her. But at the same time, the kids are going to see that. Oh wow, like
no, he is here.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's not just cutting and running.
He's not just like this kind of guy.
I think if they see you making their mom happy. That's
the thing.
Can feel secure.
So you think in that situation, I should have just went to the store?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm not saying you did the wrong thing. I'm just saying I wouldn't. I think
don't
maybe
let
you're taking it personally with Phoenix, and I would take a step back from that and just think how much this kid must have cared about you being in her life to be that guarded now.
Because I think she still cares about you.
I think she saw you as a father figure, and now she feels like that whole foundation just crumbled out from under her. And she's
I don't know if
very
she saw
scared.
me as a father figure, but I think she saw me as a friend.
Sure.
It could be a friend. It was someone she could confide in about whatever she felt. Right. She felt comfortable with you enough to, like, you know, have these nice conversations, and that takes time to build.
Yep. And now you're gone.
Yeah, exactly.
So she's being very careful about letting you back in.
I wouldn't take that personal, like Tom said, but I would, if those situations come up, even if the kids are around, like just take it. Yeah. Take that opportunity, because that's also going to show Jess, like, oh shit, he's for real. He's real about this.
And I think you guys set boundaries,
because you can't.
You're not
going
to be staying over at her house every night. I don't think that would be a smart move right away, because you don't want to be in a position where you have to be a dad. You guys need to start small, but that doesn't mean you can't be together.
Exactly. Oh yeah, for sure.
And you might mentally feel a lot better if you do have, you know, if you want the label, if you have the label again, but you just. There's kind of a set thing that you do, but you could go to family functions together and have that, then control your way into building that relationship with the whole family.
Yeah, because I think all that's going to come in.
The next step. And some of that's me too. I'm like, hey, like I'm the one who's like, oh, Phoenix is there? Okay, never mind. Like I'm kind of holding myself back from that situation because I don't know quite how.
And I know it's awkward. I think
it's going to be.
We know that's awkward, but
even with the huffing and puffing, if that happens, or the stomping of the feet, just is as hard as it could be. Just you just got to like kind of like shut that side out. Like, okay,
right?
Because she's, you know, maybe she's testing. Like, let's see if he really wants to be in this life.
She is 16.
Let's see if he can handle this situation.
You know, she's going to be very protective of herself and probably her mom.
Yeah,
so.
For sure.
You know, but that is secondary to where you're going in this. I mean, that will come with you and Jess developing a stronger relationship, and eventually they'll see this guy's not going anywhere.
I'm telling you 100%. I had this, like, it might not have been the same scenario where it's like these huffy puffy, or, you know, me and my wife never split up, but like there was just these times where it was like, I can tell that the kids, they didn't want nothing to do with me. And so I just stayed in my lane, stayed who I was. And the one thing I always told my wife is like, you know, I'm not going to change who I am. Eventually the kids will come around.
Yeah.
They might hate me right now. Eventually they'll come. And there's days still they hate me, but it's more like, cause I'm now I have like a parenting, I can actually like say stuff here and there, but, like I said, 10 years, like it took a long time. The 17-year-old really she's 20 now, but you know, at the time, like there was a point in our lives where the middle, you know, I guess she'd be the middle. She really wouldn't talk to me because I had a pretty real conversation with her about school at one point, and she just she would not talk to me. And it was a very awkward time because my wife didn't see it because, you know, she just didn't have an idea, but I seen it, like, and so I asked her, hey, why isn't she talking to me? Like, did I say something? Like, did I do something wrong? And I was like, what are you talking about? And then once I said that, she started noticing that. And then she had a conversation. She goes, well, no, when he was talking to me, I felt like he was talking shit. And I was like, what? And then, so, you know, I had to have the conversation with my wife about the conversation I had. And I was like, I never talk shit. I just told her, well, you know, the way you're going, you ain't going to graduate. Life sucks. It's going to slap you in the face one day. And, you know, you know, it was never a shit talk. It was more of a, like, this is really what's going to happen. Because as a parent,
like I said, of course I want to have the talk because I just want to be able to progress. But I also feel like I really probably should do that also, because I feel like me holding myself back and not going over there and kind of letting this be what it is, I'm kind of giving Phoenix that power. Like, she's like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, you're not coming over because I said so. Like, I don't want her to also like feel
and like your own mental capacity is probably not helpful,
right? Because I'm giving her that like I'm letting her have her way. I'm staying away. I'm not coming to go to the house. And she knows that.
I don't know though, man. I don't know that it's so much.
That's just giving her power.
I don't know that she's coming at it from that.
Control everything, and I don't want her to have that either. Like, like I said, I'm not going to have a 16-year-old be in control of my relationship. That's never going to be a thing. Sorry, but it's not.
So let me tell you this though. I would maybe challenge you to look at that a little bit differently. I really don't think the core of where she's coming from is And maybe I'm wrong because I don't know her like you do.
Yeah.
But from what you've said, I think Jesse and I both are more getting the feeling this is a kid that cared about you, whatever she saw you as.
Yeah.
And now she's hurt that you're not there.
And she's just defensive.
And she's very defensive, guarded, and protecting herself and probably her mom. I don't know that I'd worry too much about power or any of that, that dynamic, because I think that's going to put you in a position where subconsciously then it's going to be a conflict versus, kind of building.
No, that makes a lot of sense.
So I would just be careful with that.
That could be why the girlfriend's living there, is just that now that's someone she can talk to and be with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, there can be a number of things.
Because your goal is for you guys to all be together and happy ultimately, right?
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I think those slow steps, you just, when those situations arise where the kids are there and you still coming over, I think just those little things put in little seeds, and the kids don't really know what's going on, but then these little seeds start to grow into something different, and then they're like, damn, this guy's for real.
Eventually they start to get kind of excited because Friday night Brian comes over and we watch a movie, or we get popcorn and it's fun, or
sometimes you might want to include little movie. Hey, maybe we watch a movie.
I would definitely do things with Jess that would include the kids. Like if you're going to go out and do something, you don't always have to, but if there's time.
Well, I mean, if we're going to move forward, that's what has to happen.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
100%. It was like last night. Like it had a nice night out, and it ended ugly because of the situation that we're in. Like I had to come back here, and she had to drive herself home after drinking. I mean, granted, she told me she was okay to drive. I probably shouldn't have let her, or I should have just gone over there and come the morning and say, "Hey, Ruby, I got this podcast I got to do. You want to go play in your room for a bit?" And like just kind of
you can have those situations.
Made it work, but I chose to come back here and let her go home because we're not interacting with the kids. So this situation that we're in is causing problems for me and her and our shit too. Like last night didn't have to play out like that, but I didn't go over there because of not being in a situation with the kids, things being awkward, or me not having somewhere to do what I need to do because the kids are there.
Right, and those are the boundaries that you guys need to discuss.
If this is going to keep progressing, like we have to make that next step, and some of that is on me for maybe not just saying, "Hey, okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna give this a try, and we're gonna." Kind of play it as it goes.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay to be fearful too of that stuff. I mean, that's normal. I think that's okay. Like to, you're putting up your defense too. Like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Like you don't want to get hurt.
Yeah,
exactly. I'm also kind of gun shy. Like, what if I go over and like it just goes terribly and like and that's it? And,
overthinking's a bitch.
I don't want to lose Jess. Like, I love her to pieces, and I want this to work. And maybe I have this small fear of like. That it's not going to work and it's going to destroy us.
Well, I mean, I guess that can go either way because you're fearful, but at the same time you're overthinking, and so that can be actually more detrimental to what your overall goals to be. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes don't let that fear control you. If you fear that, if you start feeling like, oh, maybe I shouldn't go, maybe you should. Yeah. When you start thinking that, because it's like. Well, you're going to be in an uncomfortable position. You need that sometimes to be in those.
That's a very good point.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, maybe I'm just overthinking everything.
I think you are. It's hard not to. I'm not saying that I would do it any better.
Bro, I don't go to sleep till 4 in the morning.
My head play out terribly.
Dude, and that's probably why you don't sleep.
Like, okay, I'm not going to go over there because this might happen. This is probably not going to.
Right.
Like, honestly, like as jaded as Phoenix is right now, I don't think Phoenix would ever just be downright nasty to me.
Probably not.
Probably not.
Like if I talked to her, I don't think she'd be like, fuck off or whatever. You know what I mean? I think she might be quiet and not give me much feedback, but she wouldn't.
My belief is she desperately wants you in her life, but
I think you're overthinking her.
I hope that she would maybe be a little reluctant, but would be like, yeah, okay. Like I think I would hope she would hear me out because everyone deserves a shot.
Kids will feel safe with consistency. So if you guys are able to build a well-tailored relationship for where you're at right now, where you're not there enough to have to be a parent, you guys really need to talk about that kind of those boundaries. You have to avoid those parenting conversations at this point. I don't think you're at the point where that's going to be helpful. But if you can define what that relationship's going to look like, how you're going to be together, and how you're going to build from there, the kids are going to see that consistency and start to feel a lot safer And that I think will open the door towards the parents.
And they'll probably see that their mom, if you guys do start developing that, like they're going to see that their mom's like, oh, mom seems a little more, a little extra pep in her step, or, she seems a little extra happy.
Yeah.
Like, just because
they need to see that I can make their mom happy.
They do.
Because at the same time, like, she's going home to the kids and all this stuff, but those are her stresses now. She's going home, having to take care of all the kids after work, and she's a single mom, like one of those things. And although she has kids to keep her company, at the same time, in the night, she's also alone.
Right.
She's also probably having this tough time, maybe sleeping. I don't know. I know for me, if I overthink, I'm not going to bed till 3-4 in the morning because my brain's going figuring out, I'm going to get fired from work because of this or that. I'm going to have a talk with my boss. Oh God, in the morning, I'm done. And then, I overthink this. I stress myself out only for everything to go just fine. Mm-hmm. I'm like, God, I need to stop thinking that way.
Mental energy is just gone. You've wasted it on something that never really existed.
I know. I made up a whole scenario.
I'm trying to be a lot better about that myself.
That's how it sounds like sometimes, Brian, you're making up these, scenarios that may or may not play out the way you think.
Put your energy into what you want, not into what might go bad,
Which is, it's easier said than done, obviously.
It is easier said than done.
On the fear and the negativity that it might be, and I shouldn't do that. I can't.
Well, some even say that
myself up for failure in any situation in our life.
I think just that little, like switch will help bring a little more positive, like thoughts for you. You won't feel as maybe down on things.
And maybe alone.
Yeah. You'll start feeling a little more positive in just the way you think, even when you're, at home by yourself, chilling, whatever, you'll just feel a little happier.
Right.
You'll be in a new headspace.
Timeline restriction on it. Maybe I shouldn't have done. I was like, hey, like I told her at one point, like, hey, like let's just wait and let's wait till after the holidays to try to maybe iron this out with the kids. Like, let me give you guys your time. Let you enjoy your Thanksgiving. Let you enjoy your Christmas. Like, I don't want there to be any kind of awkwardness. Like, I don't want to come over and be there for Christmas. Like, as much as I'd love to be with you guys, I feel like you need this time with yourselves and not have me there. That might be this elephant in the room and they're a little uncomfortable. I don't want to ruin their home. I'm trying to be mindful of them as well.
Right. What does she say? What does she want?
Spot, especially this time of year. It's like it's the holiday season and, I want to enjoy Christmas and all that kind of stuff and not be that elephant in the room or be that guy where they're like, I wish it's Christmas. I wish this guy wasn't here.
Did you ask Jess what she thought?
Well, I don't want to make the kids uncomfortable either. So obviously I do give a shit. If I didn't give a shit, I was like, oh, fuck it, I don't care.
Right.
I don't care how the kids feel. We're doing this. No, I'm trying to be mindful of them as well.
Yeah.
Did Jess feel the same way?
I don't want to have them be in a weird spot. So I was like, oh, maybe we just keep this casual till after the holidays and then we can work on it after that. Yeah. But at the same time, because we're doing that, I'm sitting here feeling how I'm feeling because I'm alone, but that's kind of a standard that I kind of set. So I feel like sometimes I kind of get down on myself going, hey man, you don't get to feel like this because you chose this.
Right. Yeah.
You don't get to say we're doing it this way and then be mad or hurt that it's going that way. Right. You set this standard and this boundary. So you being by yourself right now is your fucking choice. So get over it. And that's when I say it is what it is. Like she took that, and that could be taken through text. It is what it is, can come off very shitty.
Yeah. But sometimes those conversations you need.
Well, this is what I chose
over the phone.
So it is what it is, and I need to get the fuck over it.
Did Jess agree with you? Did she want to wait till after the holidays, or did she have an opinion on that?
She didn't. I mean, she didn't really say that. Like, she really hasn't said how she.
So is that working for you?
I'm not sure. Maybe I need, and that's another reason I need to talk to her because I need to know where she's at with. Like, what do you want? What do you?
Yeah, maybe.
How this should play out. Like I think we need to sit down and have a talk.
I think you do.
Hey, what's bugging you lately? And I feel like she knows, but I haven't said it out loud. But I shouldn't.
You shouldn't.
I shouldn't be like, well, I think you should be able to read my mind and know what I feel. And,
because it's eating at you. At the end of the day, it's still, not expressing that eats at you. Because I know for me, that's how it is. At least, like if I don't express myself, it starts eating away at me. And like my wife we've developed a pretty good relationship where I can actually now feel a little more comfortable. Like if it's even about when it's about her or something, that's just saying it. Even though I get scared as shit, I'm not even gonna lie. Like sometimes I'll be scared. Like I don't want to say nothing because she's gonna feel this way, or I'm gonna hurt her feelings, or I'm gonna do this. But at the same time, it's like I need to get this out because I just need to get it out. And then at the end of the day, it's like, I mean, it just made everything so much better because I'm able to express myself, which I've had a terrible time doing.
It would probably feel great to just sit down and have an honest talk and say, okay, what are your expectations? How do you
for sure.
This?
Right.
I think that'd be very, very helpful, really, to see where she's coming from.
I think she's kind of put the ball in my court. Like, hey, like, listen, you're choosing not to come over.
Yeah.
But she's never really said, like, no, you can't come over.
Right. And it's not working for you.
No, it's not.
Like, she's never said, well, sorry, the kids are for you to come over.
So, Brian, think about it this way, too. I
don't want it to be awkward, so I'm not going to come over. Like, I'm kind of the one who made the standard what it is. And that's why I'm saying, like, I shouldn't be sitting here feeling all ho-hum because I'm kind of the one
who's
kind of controlling how this is playing out.
Yeah.
And that standard's not working for you. You're sitting at home getting more upset. Yeah. And then I guarantee you some of your reactions to her are based on your feelings from sitting there lonely.
Yeah, for sure.
So, I mean, on some level, if she sees eye to eye with you, let's get through the holidays and then do it, then that's fine. But if this is just you self-imposing it and it's not working for your end goal, you know, it might be
maybe she is waiting for you to say, hey, no, actually, so what are we doing for Christmas? Or something, you know, I don't know. But and then that's not necessarily you having to go over there in the morning, open presents.
I kind of thought that might be the case.
Dinner
but I feel
or something.
Like maybe I'm reading too much into it, or maybe I don't know. We didn't have a real discussion about it, but I did tell her this last Friday, just 2 days ago, that I was bummed that I wasn't at the party with her, the Christmas party. I thought by previous statements that were made, we were still doing that. Like I kind of thought I did. I thought in my head I was still going to come to that party with her.
But did you ever ask?
Like, well, it's tough. Like Friday's going to be different because I got my Christmas party, and I was like, I should have just said at the time, like, oh, we're not doing that. I should have just been honest. Like I thought we were doing it together. I should have spoke up immediately.
But you built up. You're afraid that you're going to get told no, you can't come.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing that.
I know.
I guess he's not ready to do that. So I just base everything off of stuff like that. Like, well, if she doesn't want to do that with me, then she doesn't want to do this.
She might have been being cautious too and thought that you wouldn't want to go or something.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
It's like that's the thing without communicating it. It's like both people are kind of thinking in their head, I don't want to screw up.
Could be a thing. Like maybe she's like, oh, well, if he wants to come, he'll speak up. But I did speak up before the party and was like, oh, I'm having a rough day. And like tonight, like I'm not really looking forward to tonight like I usually am because, I'm not going to get to see you. And I told her even like before the party happened, like, hey, I thought this was something we were going to do together, and I'm kind of down about it. She could have said at that point, oh, if you want to come, come. But she didn't. She just kept, well, it's okay. Like I can, it won't be too late. Maybe I can come by afterwards and we can salvage the night. And like, she never said, do you want to just come to this party with me? She never said that. And
but you guys had kind of established that as a rule, right?
So I feel like if she wanted me there, she would say, hey, just come with me then. Like I didn't think you wanted to come maybe, or I didn't know if that's what we were doing. But if you want to come, come. But she didn't do that.
Had you guys established that though, sort of as like kind of one of your safety net, maybe not spoken rules, but is it something that you just don't do right now where you don't go to these functions together?
Because it's going to perceive that maybe, oh, you got a boyfriend or you got a girlfriend or whatever.
There could be a lot going on there. And that's where, I think we've already established it. You guys need to sit down and really talk. What's the next step? What does this look like? What are we doing?
Because if you guys are right now at this stalemate where it's just like, you know what? We're at the crossroads. Do we go left and we fucking make this work and we figure out what to do, or we go right and it's just like, this is it. We're done.
I feel like that's where we're at. And I feel like last night was like the head of that. Like last night, we got this, and granted, she was not in her sober state of mind.
Yeah.
Last night it is what it is. I'm not mad at her. I'm not sure if she's mad at me. I don't know. I haven't talked to her today, but we're definitely, yes, I feel like we're at a crossroad. Like, hey, either we take the next step and like invite me over for dinner and I'll come over and we'll eat and we'll hang out for a little bit and I'll go home. We'll have those small interactions. But either we start doing that or we call it.
Yeah.
And I know I don't want to call it.
Well, it sounds like she doesn't either. So
I just think we're both a little fearful of how it's going to play out. We have to both stop doing that and just process either. So we're at a point now where, either we got to shit or get off the pot. Both of us. She's got to say, hey, because I've told her in the past, like, hey, like maybe we start with small things like dinners, and I said that to her several times, and she's not once been like, hey,
recording.
We should just come over for dinner tonight. So maybe that's a part of the reason why I'm not moving forward, because I feel like she's not taking the steps to move forward. Because I have been vocal and said, hey. Like I said it several times. Like, hey, how about you have me over for dinner? Or like, we have to start having these small interactions. And she's not. I'm not going to invite myself to her house.
Right.
I'm like, hey, how about I come over for dinner? I need you. It's your house.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Say, hey, do you want to come over for dinner tonight? Like, let's give this a shot.
But you have kind of established
that, so I'm not moving forward because I feel like she's not
right. But you have established. It sounds like that you're not maybe super comfortable to go over because of what's going on with the kids. So, I think you guys are. After 2 months, the last time you were on the show was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And you guys are still talking. You're still hanging out. It seems like you have progressed a bit to the point where you're both maybe at
because you're hanging out and stuff. That's what's cool.
Yeah. You obviously care about each other. So, sitting down and just saying, okay, I'm ready to move on to something new and not the same thing that we did in the past because that didn't work. Mm-hmm. Like what can our new normal be? What can our relationship look like right now so that, we can have this in 20, 30, 40 years?
Right.
So, but visualize what you want.
What does that look like? What does the next step look like?
Yeah. Try not to waste your energy on what might happen, as hard as that is.
Yeah. That's a whole mindset shift. It's trying not to do that. Cause it is tough.
It's easy to do.
It's easy to say.
Yeah. It's like very easy to worry about what could happen.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, what happens is what's going to happen. And if you spend all your time thinking about
if you're throwing that negative energy out, that's what's going to be received. So if you're like, okay, let's change this to like maybe positive something. Look at these like small little wins, these small little like positive notes, and see if that just switches that mind a little bit.
Clearly, you guys have had them. There's definitely. Sure. Just hearing you talk, there's been growth in your relationship 2 months ago. It may not feel like it on your end, but
I feel like there is. I feel like, and like I said, I feel like lately I've kind of regressed and I'm shutting back down, and I don't like that, and that's why something needs to happen because I can't get in that space again. But I feel like we were being really open, and like if I was having hard days and I was open about it, like, hey, I'm just going through it today, and I'm not even sure what it is, and like I felt like I was growing as being more open and talking about my feelings, and like that's going really good. But then I feel like the last couple of weeks I'm starting to shut down again, and she's like, what's wrong? I'm like, just having a day. I'll get through it.
Right.
I'm not really telling her what's wrong.
Right. The old patterns.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
old patterns emerge.
Our last podcast, like you have to be intentional all the time.
Yeah.
So I have to be intentional to say, okay, this is how I'm feeling, and this is why.
Yeah. Or I really don't know why, but I am feeling this way.
Yeah, for sure.
We're at this dead end and nothing's progressing. Like I need to tell her, like, hey, yeah, I'm down because I feel like we're at a standstill. Like you said last night, we're in purgatory, and I don't like this. So neither do I.
Yeah. So you both want to. It sounds like move forward.
You're hoping to move forward.
Yeah. So I think maybe just like I said, just going to the house, hanging out for a second or two. Not necessarily trying to make your presence known. Hey, kids, I'm back.
Right.
But just I'm here for Jess.
I came for them,
and all that stuff will fall into place.
Right.
That's kind of how I want to play it out. I kind of go over and have dinner.
Yeah.
Hang out for a little bit, bullshit, and do whatever, and then take off and go home. And I'm not staying there. I'm not we're not jumping back into what we were doing before.
I'd be very careful with that.
Me and Mom are dating, and I'm going to come over from time to time. We're going to have small interactions, and just let it go from there. Definitely not jump in and do it like we did the last time. I want to do it the right way this time.
Yeah,
I want this to fucking work, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely.
And she's probably feeling the same way I'm thinking.
The fact that you guys are still this involved after 2 months.
Yeah.
If she wasn't invested,
she would have been gone.
We wouldn't be having this conversation.
We tell each other all the time, I love you.
Yeah.
Which is true,
We love one another.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's obvious. Like at first she was kind of guarded, and I would tell her that I loved her, and she wouldn't say it back, or like it was, it took a while. It took me some work to finally have her go, I love you too. She was very guarded at first, and she was trying really hard to keep it kind of casual and not get too involved, and I'm sorry, I can't put my heart back on the line. I can't let myself get hurt again.
Right.
So she was very guarded at first, and it took a while for her to say, I love you back. And we went through this weird time where I thought like I was just kind of chasing her and was like super, super lovey and super like telling her like constantly how much I cared about her. And I didn't feel like I was getting that back in return, but that's because her guard was up, and I understood that. Mm-hmm. And that wall has finally come down now, and we're both very, I love you too. Like every time we get off the phone, I love you too. I tell her I love her all the time. Like we're obviously in love. It's not like this isn't a booty call. This isn't like a casual dating thing. Like we want.
It's more than that.
Our future together.
Yeah.
So we have to figure out how we make that next step.
Yeah.
Like, do I come over for dinner, or like, does it have to be a situation where I talk to Phoenix first before we make these interactions? Because I don't want to like just act like it's never going to get.
I wouldn't worry about that.
I mean, it's up to you and Jess, whatever you guys decide. But I would worry as much about that. I think I would just establish that you are there and that you care. That's
the conversation will happen when it happens.
I think so.
You know what I mean?
That's how I felt about it. I guess when Jess brought up, like, well, I think you need to talk to the kids. I mean, especially Phoenix. And I'm like, well, I don't want it to be this, like, I don't want it to be this blueprint of how it's supposed to play out. I think Phoenix will talk.
Well, if it is important to Jess, I don't want there
to be this angst on it. I don't want to be like, well, you have to do it exactly this way before we do anything else. Right. It's like, oh no, let's just fucking go with it.
If it is important to Jess, I would validate what is really important to her. If she needs you to talk to the kids, then you can just have a really quick little like, hey guys, just want to let you know I still care about your mom, and I'm going to be around a little bit, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys again, and leave it at that. And then action. I care about you guys. It's all actions, and the kids don't overthink things. You're either there for them or you're not, and they are going to react accordingly.
Yeah, and if their reaction is negative, I wouldn't look into that as being a bad thing. I would
it's probably a good thing.
Just let it roll off your shoulder, something like that. You got to just like, as hard as it is to bite, sometimes you just got to let that one roll, because eventually the kids are going to see that what you just told them is for real. And that's really what they're testing.
If you didn't matter to them, they wouldn't react.
Yeah, exactly.
If you do matter, then they're going to have a reaction.
They're not going to give a fuck.
So either way, I mean, you're kind of in a good position.
I think so.
Yeah, I think, and I might do it today. I know Phoenix is at work right now, and I'm not sure if Ollie went to work with Phoenix. Like, she's been following her around to school and to work too. That's why I said it's hard to talk to her, because she's got this mole attached to her. She goes, it sounds shitty, but like,
she's also inside the work.
Talk to her because she's always got her little sidekick by her.
Yeah.
But I
16,
if she is at work and Ollie's there, maybe Ollie could watch Ruby and she can come over and we could talk today, because I feel like I'm at a point right now where this needs to be dealt with, like, now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, whatever you guys think is the right thing.
House thinking I'm mad at her because she hasn't heard from me, or vice versa, or this weirdness. I want to say, hey, listen, last night was kind of shitty. I'm sorry for how it played out. I love you. We can't keep doing that. So we got to figure this out right now.
Right. Yeah. And I'd be honest with your feelings. I think your feelings
last night didn't have to play out like that. Last night played out like that because of where we're at.
Yeah, don't downplay those feelings.
No,
for sure,
and I would be honest with her that some of where you were feeling was probably pain from not getting to go to that party with her. And I think if you can open up and be vulnerable that way, her guard's going to come down, where if there maybe would be some defensiveness at first about that whole scenario, you're opening up the way she needs you to, and letting her know, look, I get it.
Well,
and I think,
I did tell her. I didn't say it exactly like that, but I was like, I'm bummed out. I thought this was something we were doing together. I still thought, even though I know we're not officially together, I still thought this was something that we were going to do together.
Yeah. And that's the broader conversation. This isn't working for us. And
but then she did invite, hey, let me come over.
Right.
Right. I know, and I know you were tired and more. I think, I don't know if this is how you felt, but how I would feel is more like, you know what, fuck it. Like, there's no point.
That's how I would feel too.
Not like I'm tired, like
I'm
whatever.
more reacting to my feelings.
I'm more like, I'm kind of pissed off at you and I don't want to see you really. Like,
and that might have been
because that's how I
feel. It was, but it was.
I'd be stubborn.
All honestly, I wake up early for work. I bust my ass all day.
Yeah, for sure.
Here all day and was by myself. And when I sit and I just I'm not really doing anything, and I'm in my own headspace, and it's like quiet. I kind of get into this like shut down kind of hermit mode where like I don't have much to talk about. I really haven't done anything with my day, and it was getting late. You're calling me at 10 o'clock. Yeah. You're telling me your party's going to be. She's like, oh, I'll be out of there by 9 o'clock. I'm like, cool. Like, hey, and I told her, hey, I'm home if you want to come by after the party. Like, if it's not, and I said, if it's not too late. And she's like, oh, I'll be out of here soon, or I'll be out. I should be out of here by around 9. And you're calling me at 10, and you're still there. And at that point, I'm like, night's kind of over. I don't want to go up till 1 o'clock in the morning, and that's what it's going to be if you come over now. So it's a little too late. Like, if you would call me an hour ago, I would have said, yeah, come on over. Right. But at this point, I was getting tired, and I was kind of hurt that I didn't get invited to go with her. And I was just like, nah, you probably should just go home. Because I didn't want her to come over and have it turn into a negative thing either. Yeah, right. I didn't want to be moody because I was hurt, and then thus get in an argument or something like that. So I thought it was a better idea for her just to go home.
Right.
But she's taking that as I'm pushing her back.
Yeah.
Like, oh no, just go home. She's like, oh, fuck you then, dude. Like, I had all my stuff packed in the car. I thought I was coming over, and now you're telling me just to go home. So she was probably hurt as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I'll bet. So that's the conversation. I think you guys are ready to have that talk and just say, look, I was coming from a place of feeling hurt. I'm not liking where we're at. And she probably feels the same way.
Yeah, I want more,
Yeah. And if you guys do it carefully, I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No.
I mean, it's been
like you said,
2
that
months
slow
of
roll.
You guys. Yeah.
There's going to be that, slowly introduce yourself back into the household kind of thing. And just,
I
don't know.
Again, that's secondary to you and Jess.
Exactly.
I think the kids are going to come along for the ride regardless. They're going to figure it out when you're around.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It'll take time for sure.
It will. Years.
Yeah, and that's fine. I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking to rush back into that situation. I just want to baby step back in.
Right.
Daddy's back in the house.
In your fucking room because I'm back.
Dishes need to get done now.
No, but I mean, it's nice to hear that you guys have been kind of in the position you're at. I mean, obviously you're both invested. So
yeah. Oh, 100%. We love one another for sure.
Yeah.
If we didn't, we wouldn't be doing this. We wouldn't be feeling hurt. We wouldn't give a shit. Like, obviously, we're both very emotionally invested if we're having these big feelings.
I think there's both emotions that need to get let out on both ends.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there's just
so make sure that you listen and you speak what you need to, and I don't know. I'm excited to hear what happens.
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to have another follow up.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, I wish I was coming from more of a positive space about everything right now. I feel like I'm kind of like, we're kind of in limbo and it's kind of sucking right now.
I think you're getting there. I think it's way more positive than you're even realizing.
Yeah,
I mean,
it sounds a lot more positive
from where you were the first time you came on to now.
You can hear it.
Yeah, it's obvious. I mean, back then it seemed like very rocky ground. I mean, it could have gone one way or the other. Now it seems like you're both committed to it, whether you said that or not. It's just a matter of dealing with the details of what that looks like.
Now, got this next chapter coming up.
There I am focusing on the negative again. I'm like, I wish I would have had a better update. I wish this would have been a more positive podcast. But it's like, when I look at it, you're right, it is positive because last time we talked, I didn't know what was going to happen. I didn't know
at all.
Work on things. I didn't know where the fuck I was at, or if we were done, or what it was. I didn't know where she was at.
Right.
She had this big wall up. She's let her wall down. We're working on it. We just have to get past this next. We're just at a hurdle. We're just at a crossroad.
That's it.
And we just happen to be having this podcast at the time where it's all come to a head.
Right.
But it's okay. Like, we're good. I hope we're good. Like, I hope last night wasn't like.
No, it doesn't sound like it.
Okay, I'm not doing this. And I don't think that's what it is. I know she loves me. Like, last night was whatever. It was, we had that fallout because we're both at a place where we need to progress and figure out what we're doing next. So I think we just need to have a sit down and say, hey, what are we doing here?
Yeah, for sure.
Love you. I want this to work. Like, how do we bring this back around where I start having small interactions with the kids so they can feel comfortable for me? Because I want the kids to feel comfortable. I don't want to go into the house and make everyone feel uncomfortable. I want to be like, oh, cool, Brad's coming over. Like, I want it to be a positive thing.
Yeah, and that's going to take time. I wouldn't go in thinking that every time, like, I'm going to make it uncomfortable because you don't know if you are or not.
And if you do, if Jess wants you there, then
who cares?
I mean, exactly. You're not going to be rude to the kids. So if they're uncomfortable, they're uncomfortable. If Jess wants you there.
Like Ruby, like the youngest one, I don't think Ruby is really going to give a shit either way.
And if the kids are there and they talk, just talk to them, like just be yourself. You don't need to be like feeling like on edge or like, maybe I can't, make this weird.
Right.
Just be you. Just be you. They know who you are at the core of things. And, I think that's the best you can do, really.
Right.
Because like those relationships will build. That's going to be just a time thing and nothing you can do about that.
Yep. That's good.
Can't beat time.
I just want to get to a spot where we could all interact in a positive way. That's all.
Yeah, you will. I think you will, honestly. But first step is to talk. So I think you need to reach out to Jess and talk.
Yep.
Yeah. I think like literally when we finish this, I'm probably going to call her up. See if she answers and see where she's at. Hopefully she's not so upset about last night. Because she was really upset that I think she was more upset that she invited me over. I turned it down, and then I let her drive home, and she was like, I was drunk as fuck. I was like, well, like she said, it's okay. It's all good. I understand. Let's go drop you off. You could drive. Let me get my shit together a little bit till we get to your house, and then I'll drive home from there. And that's what happened. Like, I got out of the car. She jumped in the driver's side, I gave her a kiss, and I was like, "You good to drive?" She's like, "Yeah, I got this." Like, and then I walk into the house, and I get a text as I'm walking to the door saying, "Okay, good night then, I guess." Like, and then she asked, like, I just abandoned her. She's like, "I was in the car alone, and you were gone." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I said good night to you. I gave you a kiss. You were heading out. Like, I thought you were going to back out and start driving home. Like, I didn't leave you in the car drunk by yourself. Like, I don't know. I think she was just, last night she was intoxicated, and she just saw her head in a different way.
Sure.
Could be.
I wasn't drunk. I drank beer all night. I got to drink a lot of beer to get drunk. I was not intoxicated by any means last night. I was stone cold sober.
Yeah.
So when you have a sober person and someone under the influence trying to have a conversation, it might go south.
It's not the right time.
It's never going to go well.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well.
So I need to call her and say, "Hey, listen,
I'm a drunk person. I know
where I was at last night. You know, like, now that your head's in a different place, do you get it? Like, I didn't leave you out. I would never just leave her sitting in her car. I would never just leave her to fend
Yeah,
for
for
herself.
sure.
I would never do that to her. But it was a situation where it was like, hey, like, yeah, I'm going home because of the situation. I'm not going to come to your house and have this awkwardness and then have to go down and sit in the basement to do a podcast because your 9-year-old's running the living space. Like, that doesn't work. Like, if you could make like, we have to make adjustments for all this to work. And that's like, and that was almost a red flag for me. I was kind of upset. Like, I'm like, see, here we are in the same place. Like, you're telling me I don't have a place beside your basement to do a podcast because you can't tell your 9-year-old that, hey, Brian's got this to do. How about you go play in the room for a bit? Like, that's got to be a thing too. Like, there's got to be adjustments for all this to work. And you're telling me out of the gate there can't be an adjustment for this to work, but you want me to come stay the night. That doesn't work for me.
Right. Well, that's not limit setting you guys have to do.
Yeah.
Is decide what that next step looks
I'll talk to
like.
her in the morning and let her know, like, hey, Brian needs this space. Like, you know, stay in the room for a bit. I would have came and spent the night.
Yeah, maybe she didn't even think that, though. You know,
I have to work around my situation, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well, you guys will have to talk, and then just let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
you can call us 3-way.
Yeah.
This motherfucker said 3-way. They don't think anymore.
I don't think so.
I don't know.
Can you do that on phones anymore?
I don't know. I think like what Facebook probably took that away.
I don't know. Remember 3-way calling? I remember doing that. Me and my friends talking on the phone. Back on the landline.
I think we're deep in like we were last time. I'm very long-winded.
Yeah. No, it's all good. We're just hoping we had a little hiccup.
We did have a little hiccup,
with
so we
the
may have to
interweb.
do some magic editing, but
I'm hoping the first hour stayed. Because that's about how far we were
It hung
in.
up on us there for a bit, but I think we can.
Oh, shit. What? It hung up on us?
It did. The internet connection went out for a second.
God, damn it.
But I don't think we lost too much.
I hope not.
We're going to keep our mind on the positive. And
We're doing a
Here
positive.
we go. Yeah.
Like, there's a
And
second
we're
there.
going to make it work.
There's a second there. I was just like in a zone of thinking.
I mean, that's really the takeaway from all of this, I feel like, is that I have to focus on what's going right.
Yeah.
We do.
That
Right.
has some
All of
hiccups.
us do, and it's
And
hard to do.
Like, I'm starting to focus on that bullshit, and I can't start doing that again. That's what I did last time. I started focusing on the negative, and
Right.
I can't.
Just
I have to fucking stay intentional.
don't go back to those
Lazy
old
and
habits.
Fall back into our patterns, and I can't start falling back into those patterns.
Right.
It's easy to do.
It is easy. That's why they're patterns,
easy to do.
because it's
You
our
know,
behavior. It's what we
Well, this
learn to
isn't
do.
working. Nothing's working. Everything sucks. Like,
Oh,
I'm
dude.
home for myself for the holidays.
Bro.
I'm lonely, and this is all bullshit, and I got nothing, and blah blah blah. And like,
I work at home and I have those thoughts.
Nothing right now.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
that's one of those things you got to, like, I'm the same way. Like, was it last week or so? It wasn't my best mental week, and I was having those, like, I was just super down and just like feeling alone and just like I hate everything, and I was just super negative, and I found myself starting to pick up a drink here and there, and then I was just like, okay, no.
Yeah, don't go down that road again.
Let's not do this again. We know where this led, little fat man. Like, let's not do this. You're gonna lose all that you've done. Like,
Right.
so like I had to like stop. So it was a couple weeks
That's
ago.
one thing I'm glad that I don't do. Like, I'm to the point in my life now where I don't run to the bottle anymore, because I used to be the same way.
Well, I
run
get
to the bottle.
bored. That's what I found out.
A bottle of vodka that's been sitting in my house for weeks now.
Uh-huh.
I haven't touched it. When I get down, I don't want to start drinking because that's not going to fucking solve anything.
No,
and I
it's
know
not.
that now. I've had that blow up in my face enough times where, thank God, I'm smart enough not to run to the bottle. I'm not calling you stupid because we all have our coping mechanisms.
Oh yeah.
Right.
But at least I know now, like, I'm conscious about it. Like, no, don't. You're not going to start drinking.
Yeah,
Like
no, that's
Friday
what
night,
happened.
I was like, I'm going to just go home. And I think I even said to Jess, I'm just going to go home and just start drinking. Like, I'm just going to go home and get drunk and get in my feelings. No, that's stupid. That's not going to solve anything.
Yeah. No, I get
But
that.
not to do that, but yeah, I get in this space where I'm home alone, and my brain starts spinning, and I shut down, and I have no one to talk to about it. And I mean, honestly, like us doing this is great for me.
Oh yeah, I'm glad.
This right here, it's like therapy. It's like I'm talking about how I feel and getting it off my chest, and hearing your guys' feedback and saying, hey, don't look at it like this, or maybe try it like this. Like that helps me too. Like your guys' feedback helps me maybe see things a different way. Like just like Tom said, he's like, hey, like don't be so focused on what might not go right. Just do it and let it happen. And that's something that I need to do. I need to not focus on, like, I can't set up these scenarios in my head and these storylines that's all make believe, and it's like, oh, yep, that's how it's going to go. So I can't do that. Like, I can't do that.
Right.
No, yeah. Can't finish your story that you never wrote. You know.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Exactly.
Just jump in. I mean, that's life, right? You got to just do it.
Yep. Like Nike says, just do it.
If you don't give it a chance.
Yeah.
Not to rip off Nike, but just do it.
That's a trademark. I
probably... do it just, you may.
Yeah, we'll flip it around.
We'll be Yoda.
Man, well, we're really glad. We're glad that you came on today.
Yeah, for sure.
I think it was a great conversation.
Oh yeah.
You know, I've had a few friends say it's like therapy listening, so I hope people feel.
I feel that way.
It feels great for us.
When I have my emotional blurt outs on this show, like that's how it feels for me.
Yeah,
I've said it before.
Yeah,
it's like therapeutic.
I think guys need a place to talk. So
that was great.
Yeah,
no, we do need a place to talk.
There's so much unsaid shit that I was able to get out, and even this time around, just to be able to talk about how I feel with Jess, and whether it sounds ridiculous or not, she's going to listen to this podcast, and she's going to hear some things that, and she might be upset by some things that she heard, but it might be a good way for her to look in and go, oh, this is how he's feeling. Maybe that'll help.
Sure. You're being honest, so that's a good thing, and you're getting those feelings out.
We'll have a talk before she hears this, but I think she listened to the last podcast and she's like, wow, that was really good. Like, I'm really proud of you. Like, awesome. She was like, she must have said 20 times, I'm so proud of you for doing that and opening up and being honest
about
your feelings.
Yeah.
I got nothing but positive feedback. I mean, Jess listened to the podcast. My mom listened to it. My Aunt Becky's listened to it. I had some friends listen to it. And everyone was like, wow.
It was actually one of our more listened to podcasts, to be honest with you.
What's that?
Yeah, I think it was I think to date, it's our most listened to podcast, I would say.
Really?
Yes. It had a lot
of views.
Yeah, it did. Which I think is awesome because that says a lot. I mean, it's good to have this view and like it's kind of at the core of who we are as a podcast.
Those authentic feelings coming through.
Yeah, talking on air. Like I like to think that this is helping somebody.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Right, because we're all messed up. I mean, we all have our things. The views to be like
friends that are listening to it and like, oh, cool, good for them. Like I want someone to listen to it and go, oh man, yeah, like that resonates. Like maybe that's what's going on in their life, or maybe just something we touched on.
Right.
To help somebody else. Like, what's the point? What's the point of us sitting here and talking about this publicly if it's not helping anybody?
Exactly. Yeah.
Even if it can help one person.
Just one person.
Not just for myself. Like I say, this is like therapy for me. Cool. That's great. But like, that's whatever. That's not such a big deal. I just want someone else to listen to it. Like, hopefully someone listened to Backpacking Boners. Maybe they got past the name of the podcast.
I love it.
Like, was like, oh, I'm going to check this out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we hook them in with the fun name, and then we.
I saw you post on this motherfucker, Backpacking Boners. Like, awesome.
Well, what did we say in the beginning about?
But yeah, I mean, hopefully some of those views are people that listen that don't know who the fuck they are.
Yeah.
Right.
Not just my friends or my family that listen to it. Hopefully some other people listened and was like, wow, like, okay, yeah. Like that resonates.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Want people to feel good, be happy, be healthy. That's
what we want.
Because we've all been there with, my life hasn't always been healthy.
I haven't listened to all your podcasts, but I listened to some of them, and a lot of it's, you talk about family and relationships and like, like you said, just different personal things that could help other people in situations as well. Like that's a great foundation.
That's the whole
platform, in my opinion. Like, if someone can sit down and listen to a podcast, I listen to self-help podcasts all the time. I think they're great. I think they do work. So hopefully maybe that's kind of what this is, like help people deal with their bullshit.
I think that's kind of how it's developing. That's a good
point. I'm going to try that, like if we can help somebody else, like then awesome. Small victory.
Yeah, for sure.
show them that we ain't perfect.
By any means, yeah.
No,
no.
I can give you great advice. Can I follow it? No.
I know, right?
My wife wants to come on just so she can tell the world.
I know. Both our wives.
It'd be nice if you would do that, Tom. Well,
yeah, I know, right?
It's easier said than done.
I could say it to someone.
Yeah. Brian, I got lots of great ideas for you.
I know. It is funny though, because like there's things where I'm trying to myself practice what I'm hearing or stuff I've heard, just like those small wins.
Right.
Trying to count those. That that's something recently that someone had said, and I was just like, actually, the doctor I went to go see was someone saying that, and I was like, what, that's a fucking great idea.
Yeah. Instead
of me focusing on all this negative crap, let me just what was awesome today?
Something was.
Something was cool. Something, and so I'm trying to think that, and it's been working.
Yeah.
It just tricks your mind into thinking, oh, this guy's okay.
Yeah. And just remembering it ebbs and flows. Some days are easy, some days are hard. And no matter what, things can stay the same and your attitude can just be shit one day.
Oh yeah.
100%. And it's like, that's going to happen. I guess realizing feelings are feelings and they happen. And you're going to deal with them as you deal with them. But
that's, like I said, that's where I've been at. I was really in this good space and things were going good. And then last couple of weeks, and I think it's the time of year that it is. Like I said, I definitely have seasonal depression. Like, no bullshit. Like, for sure.
I think that's normal.
Trapped. Like, so when I have these hiccups of like, oh, I don't get to do this today, but I have nothing else to do because it's pouring rain outside or whatever, like, that really fucking gets to me. Like, when I feel like I have no option to do something and I'm just like stuck in my place,
right?
It starts to really fuck with me.
Oh, we get that.
I spend too much time just sitting in the house and I'm not out doing my hiking or whatever I do. It really starts to fuck with my mental.
I work at home.
It really does.
I work at home, so I'm at home all day, every day except Friday, and it really does eat at you for a while. Yeah, I get it. Right, that's how I get it. I get stir crazy because I love to do stuff, and I haven't been able to run. I haven't been able to do the things I was doing that was actually helping fight that. And so now it's like, what do I do? And so I'm like, okay, let's work on my cabinets. So that's where I'll go in the garage at night.
Well, I found it's funny. I work a job where you get certain times off. Like, I'm a teacher, so I get winter break off. I get summer off. I get
it in.
Well, but the thing that's interesting is I would always look forward to these breaks. I'd look forward to the break, and I'd look forward to the break, and then the break would come, and I would get almost depressed and weird because
you had nothing to do.
Well, or there are so many different options. It's like I'd just be like. And then I wouldn't do anything. And then I just feel like, okay, I'm just wasting my time. I'm not accomplishing anything.
That's how I feel. It's like, and I'll go back to saying that I don't really have the camaraderie anymore. I don't have a lot of my friends have kind of fallen off. They're busy doing their own thing. So I sit here, I try to reach out and I'm like, hey, what are you up to? Oh, it never works out. Every time I try to make a plan with people, I feel like it always like, oh no, I can't do it tonight or whatever. And I'm like, God damn it. So like I spend all evening trying to make this plan work, and then it doesn't, and it's a night where me and Jess aren't getting together, and then I started thinking about that, like, well, fuck, now I'm sitting here, I have no one to hang out with.
Just start spiraling.
Jess, like, I'm just sitting here in fucking limbo, just twiddling my fucking thumbs, like, and then my brain starts to go, and then I go down this rabbit hole, and it's just it's terrible. It's terrible for me, and I just feel trapped, and I can't get outside and do stuff because the weather's crap, and I'm just at a place, holidays are coming again, and I'm alone, and it's just like, there's just this whirlwind of just like, bullshit that's like circling over my head, and it's really starting to fuck with my mental, and I don't want to fall back into that place where I was before.
Right.
But I feel it happening, so I'm trying to, like, me talking about it with you guys and just fucking realizing what's happening hopefully helps me out, because I'm just
for sure
in a place in my head where it's just not a good space, guys.
Well, I'm glad you're trying. You're working with it, and you're not giving up, and that's. I think you got a lot to look forward to.
I mean, you're taking some big steps too. I mean, you're letting it out there. You're talking about it. You're not holding it all in. So it's being said. Things are coming out. You're throwing that out there in the world.
The more you do it, the easier that's going to get too.
It is.
So.
It is. It's just practice.
I'm so fearful to fall back into that pattern. You know what I mean? Like,
I totally get it.
That's my biggest fear, is to get back into the pattern where I'm not talking about how I feel. And
that's your fuel right there.
I'm getting cranky, and like I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that negative space.
Well, just having that thought process right there is positive in a way, because you're like, that's the kind of fuel. Like, no, I'm not doing that. Fuck that.
I'm right there with
I
you.
can see.
Diet
I
and
can see where I'm
exercise,
going.
in the
Boom,
same
boom, boom.
spot.
Yeah. Same.
You know?
It's like the last couple, like the last couple of weeks. I think Jess made a comment last night about something like, well, hopefully you can find something to make you happy because apparently I'm not doing it. It wasn't those exact words, but it was like she feels like I'm putting it away again.
Yeah.
Like, hey man, like, what's up? Like, do you love me? Like, I feel like when we talk, you don't have much to say, and like, I don't want to get back into that fucking routine of not talking about how I feel and making her feel like she's not loved anymore, or like I don't want this. I want this to work, man. I love this girl with all my heart. I really do, and I want this to work, and I want to make things work with the kids, and I want this. I had time to think about, like, is this what I want? Like, part of this kind of break that we were doing, this kind of casual thing we were doing, was for not just me, but for us to realize, like, is this what we want? Like, is this worth it to us?
Right.
That's part of what I feel like we were doing. And I'm in a place where, like, I'm like, yeah, I do want this to work. Yeah, I do love her. Yeah, I do want things to work with us as a whole and as a family unit. Like, so now it's time to start dealing with that. Now it's time for this next step of our relationship. And there might be some bumpy points, but I love her, and I'm willing to do that with her and try to make it work. So,
well, awesome, man.
Those are some good steps there.
Yeah.
I think more than anything, on top of that is, like I said, the seasonal depression and the holidays are here, and
for sure,
everyone struggles with the holidays. That's alone. I mean, that's a huge thing. It's like they say the suicide rate is like so high this time of year because people who are alone get in a really dark fucking place, and
the weather doesn't help.
No, it doesn't. And that is one of the big hopes that we have during this time, is if it's not us, somebody can help fill that void a little bit, where maybe somebody holds on just long enough to get through, because everything's temporary.
It's temporary,
as bad as it can be.
I'm not even going to say my quote now, but
like, I sit here and I'm like, I don't even know what I'm doing for Christmas. Like, I don't even know what I'm doing. Like, we're doing a get together at my sister's house for like a Christmas party, but we're doing it early. We're doing it, I think it's next Sunday, but like, we're doing this early celebration, and we're all going to get together, and that's going to be great.
Right.
But actual Christmas, like, I mean, well, of course, Melissa's like, you can come over here, or like, I'm sure Mom would love to see you. Like, yeah, I can go pop over to one of my family members' houses, but like, I don't have this like Christmas right now is just like a gray area. I have no idea what the hell I'm doing. I don't have any plans, and that alone is kind of depressing.
Talk to Jess about what she's doing, and if.
What's that?
Talk to Jess about what she's doing and how she's feeling about it. I mean, she might be feeling the same way, and maybe not go over all day, but maybe there's a little bit of time like you guys
dinner or something.
I mean, if you don't talk to her about it, who knows? So
you won't know unless you ask. So you know what I mean?
Be honest. That's what she wants. Be honest with her. I'm really bummed out about Christmas because I want you a part of that, and I don't have that.
Yeah,
and. Maybe it's not healthy for you guys to be together that day. I don't know, but you won't know if you don't talk.
Exactly.
So. Well,
all right, brother. Well, it was great to have you on the show.
Oh, hell yeah, always.
And
we'll do maybe in a couple of weeks or something. We'll do.
We'll follow up.
I'll contact you, via phone, Tom, and let you know kind of how things maybe play out.
Okay.
We could do a recap in a couple of weeks and see where we're at then.
Hell yeah.
Sounds like a great idea.
It's always nice talking to you.
Therapy sessions.
Yeah.
Maybe summertime. Maybe if summertime comes, we all go on a hike or something.
That would be a lot of fun.
I'm just saying.
That would be, man. That would be. Like, definitely. I mean, it's definitely harder this time of year for us to get back and forth each other's ways with the passes being closed down and shit like that. But no, it'd be great to
I think
together and do something for sure. Hang out, something. I don't know.
Out in nature. That's always a good place to be.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So.
All right, man. Well, we will talk to you.
Well, thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Have a good day. Have a good Christmas holiday. If I don't talk to you before then.
Gotcha.
We'll keep in touch, and we'll do this again.
Yeah.
All right.
Tom, keep me informed.
I will. Sounds great. All right. We will talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Sounds good. Have a good one, guys.
You too.
Bye.
Later.